Alright, gonna turn on the microphone on a little bit early. How's it going, everyone? You guys having a good day? Happy New Year's Eve. At least from West Coast, United States. Let me turn that down a little bit. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a really fun stream. Well, you're gonna hear some soda. Oh man. Ugh. I gotta say, I had a very hard time falling asleep last night, but that had more to do with the fact that it's just like the room I was sleeping in just like got really freaking hot out of nowhere. Like it just woke me up hardcore. Oh, nice. Nice. Hope you enjoy the Sakura Wars. Yeah. Lay off the soda. No. I'm sorry, it's too late for me. You cannot save me. Alright, I'm gonna switch on over to face cam, I think. Yeah, anyway. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Today's gonna be a very funny stream. I sorta planned this. I wanna emphasize sorta. So basically the idea today is I'm just gonna be going over everything I did. Last year I did a very high effort edited video. I'm gonna switch music to like the next song in the playlist. It was a bit too much energy. We need something a little bit more low key, I think. So C is gonna get blasted with a song early. It's okay. She has no context. It's fine. Anyway, it's a little bit more low key. Yeah. So today we're basically just gonna be having a chill time. I'm gonna be going over the various games that I played this year, and I think it's gonna be good. I'm gonna pop out the chat. I'm gonna basically put this over here. Okay. Cool. We have that up on screen, and right. So that should be, I think, everything we need for our stream purposes today, as far as, like, this is concerned. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the game when it drops this time. I did the demo for Sky, but, yeah, I just want to give myself a little bit more time before it comes out, and then I'll just play it, and then everyone will have started it, so, hey, you know, they get to see my reactions and all that sort of a thing. It's fine. I'm okay with waiting. Gonna enjoy the game, I think. Yeah. It's getting my TED Talk. Yeah, no. So in general, though, this has been a very crazy year. I just wanted to say that, at least for me. When I go over the full list of things that I have consumed, this is probably one of the better years I have had as far as, like, series that I've really enjoyed that I've gotten into, and I think that will become very apparent, and it'll be pretty neat. But before we begin, though, just one last hope everyone is doing okay. If you guys want to yap about anything while we give some people a little bit more time to show up, you feel free. But yeah, the idea though is that I'm mostly going to be going over my media thread. We're going to be doing tier list stuff, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, so looking forward to that. But okay, let me also move this over here, and then hopefully that'll be a good way of handling this. Yeah. And yeah, I think at the very end of this, we'll just kind of also have like a small little talk sesh and everything. I will say I'm very excited for Horizon. As a personal thing, though, did not make it onto this list because I started it very late. I'm finally playing Xenoblade 2, and I'm very much enjoying it. To the point that I made irresponsible life decisions and may or may not have stayed up late and screwed up my sleep schedule the other day. Game is very fun. Granted, I had friends who helped me learn the mechanics because the game is just, it's a lot and it doesn't do a great job of explaining most of it. But yeah, I've been doing crazy combos and everything. It's been a fun time. I've been enjoying Xenoblade 2 quite a bit more than the first one so far, actually, at least on the gameplay front. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. Oh man. Yes, see. Anyway though, yeah, I'm gonna save a lot of conversation for the very end of the stream. But good to see you, Callum. Good to see you. Oh wow, okay. It's funny, I feel like despite all the talk about it, I've mostly bumped into people that like it since I've started playing the game. I don't know if that's just my circles, but it's very funny. Oh man. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay, Callum. Been a bit. Oh man. Yeah. It's okay. No problem being the outlier. It's fine. It just means you have a different opinion. Which means nothing. It's okay. But okay. Regardless, I guess it's about time we get this started. So I have something very funny set up today. So let's find out which one I have out front. Ooh. Well, that's the tier list ranking thing. We're gonna be doing Trails revisions later. I'm gonna get to that when we get there. Let me remind myself where this actually is located. All right, there we go. All right, and also let me pull up the YouTube chat. Oh god, why are there two of them? That's so weird. Okay. Anyway, there we go. So enjoy this slideshow that I've set up for us today, as we talk about the various games we played this year. Woo! Okay. Yeah, I do not know why there were two of them on this screen. Mitosis, indeed. So yes, this is my New Year's recap. This is going to be based off my media thread that I posted on Blue Sky this year. So yeah, we're going to be starting though with, so the way I'm going to handle this, by the way, I'm actually including both like games and like shows and movies and stuff that I've watched as well this year. But I'm going to have them in different groups. So I'm going to be tackling the movies and stuff first. And then we're going to go into, like, the games. And it's not in the order I did them, but, like, kind of by topic. So, or what I think will be a fun order. So, without further ado, let's go and do this. I watched Batman. Hey, Snake. Yo. So this is, like, one of my friend Snivy's, like, favorite movies in recent years. He's a big old Batman fan. So he wanted to show this to me, and I had a fun time watching it. I think this is probably one of the... I haven't seen like a giant list of Batman movies, but I think this might be my favorite one I've seen. It was pretty good. I like the... It's very... I can understand some of the criticism it has, but it's very like purposely, like just the way it's lit and everything. It's pretty good. And surprisingly, Robert Pattinson... He does a good job for, like, a young Bruce, all things considered. It's very funny, though, considering it's, like, his older stuff. But it's nice to see him breaking out of it and getting really good roles. And it was just a good movie. I liked a lot of its thematics and art and all of that. It's good. Good movie. So... And yes, it is... It's decently long, but I think it warrants its length. So... Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna open up the tier list, and we're gonna switch on over to... Which one is it? This one. This one's the one we want. Okay. So, since this is the first one we're doing, I'm just gonna put it, like, here, or... I'll put it here, because I have, some movies I rewatched in here as well, and some other stuff. I'll put it here for now. I liked it. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite like things that like I'm obsessed over. And I'm probably gonna say that about most of the things that are gonna be on this specific tier list. But it's here. It's neat. I enjoyed it. It was good. So yeah. On that same coin, because it's related, I also watched Superman. I might move the chat a little bit. I may move the chat several times, but for the time being, it's going there. Yeah, I watched Superman, and I don't like it as much, but it's fun. It's corny. It feels very like it came out of the 2000s in some ways. Some good comedy. It's a different kind of movie compared to the other ones, because this one's just kind of got a lot more of the extended characters. Very James Gunn. But it's fun. It's a fun movie. And I don't really have much else to say other than that. So let's get back to the tier list. I'm gonna put it here. It's enjoyable. It's not like bad. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Yeah. Alright, we'll get back over here now. Okay. Okay. Man, I'm like gonna be doing a whole lot of window swapping here. I'm gonna be like doing this like I'm playing FNAF or something over here. Okay. Okay, let's just read what you guys say. Anyway, yeah. 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 Yep. Anyway, Pirates. I love these movies. I really do. Okay, so these were rewatches. I have seen them before, but 2/3 of these I have not seen in forever, and I think they hold up. God, I love these movies. They're fun. They have pretty good action. Sure, like the first movie feels very self-contained compared to the plots of 2 and 3, but I think it all works pretty well. They have good arcs for all the characters, and in general, just really, they're just good. It takes me back to I miss when movies were more like these a little bit. These were just, it was great. Good fantasy adventure stuff. If you've never seen Pirates, they're Kino, honestly. And yeah, At World's End is your favorite. Oh, I think they're kind of close to me in a weird way, for different reasons. Well, I think Dead Man's Chest is probably the weakest, but only just because like it's like that middle one, so like it doesn't really get like the payoff of the third one. But it does have really good like drama and stakes, but also knows how to have good levity too. It's like it's a good middle chapter. It knows what it's doing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just good movies. Yeah. All right, we'll go back to the tier lists then. Okay. So tentatively, I think I'm just going to put them all up here cuz I just like them a lot. They're good movies. Yeah. Some nostalgia there maybe, but I don't care. It's my list. Okay. Well, let's switch back over. Yeah. Alright. Now, let's go back over here. Movies are better. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, speaking of modern movies. Alright, I'm gonna be real. I watched this, and I saw, like, some of the other Karate Kid movies, of course. And This is a franchise I don't feel very strongly about, for the record. I was dragged out to this with family. I had a fun time, for what it's worth. Yes, it did. This is the most forgettable thing I've ever seen. I mean, like, I kind of like the novelty of, like, oh, hey, we have, like... Okay, also, by the way, I guess this might be a hot take. I actually prefer, funny enough, the Jaden Smith movie to the original. I don't know if I'll get crucified for that. So it is nice to have, like, both of them together, which would mean more if they actually had more screen time together in the movie. It's like the last, like, 30 minutes, and they do basically a single montage together, and it's short. It's so lame. I'm sorry, Callum, but it's true. Yeah, it's lame. I don't really care for this movie. Also, like, yeah, main character is the most forgettable one yet. And, the rival villain guy is even more forgettable. I can't remember anything about him aside from him doing the token "I kicked you in the dick" moments. Like, it's just formulaic Karate Kid. If you've seen a Karate Kid movie, you've seen this movie, and it brings very little. The one thing it brings new to the table is so short-lived it doesn't matter. I don't like this movie. I'm gonna forget it exists, like, basically the moment I stop looking at this media thread. I frequently forget this exists until I look at my media thread. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I'm putting this... Honestly, I think I like Minecraft movie more. Oh my god. That's so funny if this is making me put Minecraft movie in C. Oh my god. Alright. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, we're moving on now. Alright. Oh, sorry, I accidentally skipped a, like, peek over here. Anyway, yeah. Loki! So I finally got around to watching this. It's aight. I really like the I guess, like, the concept of it is a lot of fun, with the, time police thing and all that. The soft sci-fi stuff that kind of reminds me of Doctor Who is a lot of fun. And in general, like, it's got pretty good acting across the board. Again, I think it does feel a little bit like the ending of it. I like the ending in concept, but it does feel like it had to be rushed to get there because of things that happened with Marvel. But outside of that, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's probably one of the things, like, it's how I feel about a lot of modern MCU, where it's like, I watch it, I'm like, I had a fun time, but I question how much it will stick with me, but I think I did have fun with the TVA. Yeah, I like the TVA in this generally. I think there's, like, holes I could poke in some characters' logic, that sort of thing, but, like, I think it's fine. It's fun. Yeah, again, just for what it is, as just, like, a alternative, I could almost recommend this as, like, an alternative almost to, like, something like Doctor Who, if you want, like, more quasi sci-fi time travel wibbly wobbly stuff. I think this is, like, a good alternative. I'm sure Doctor Who is probably would be considered better for a lot of people that are into that, but I think it's a fine alternative to that, is how I would describe this show. It's pretty neat, and especially yeah, I don't know, I really like the season 2 stuff, and yeah, well, except season 2 had other things that were rushed. Regardless, there we go. So let me figure out where I'm ranking Loki. Okay. All right, we're bumping Minecraft Movie back down because, well, I think I actually like it on the same tier as Superman. I think I like it on that. I think maybe a little bit. Do I like it more or less? It's on the same tier. That's what matters. Yeah. I think it's fine. It's good. Okay. So, next, we're gonna be going back to that. Alright. Peak Fiction. I freaking love ReZero. Okay. Hold on. I need to change music back. Give me a second, everyone. Alright? No, this deserves bringing Silux back. Hold up. I need to talk about Peak Fiction for 5 seconds. Yeah, I said this before. ReZero is like a show I did not expect to like as much as I do. This climbed up in like my top like 3 anime. Like this climbed right above Fate, but like right below like FMA for me. I really like this show. But I got into it like a few years ago. I think I talked about it in a previous New Year's stream. But before I talk about season 3, without going into any detail, I actually rewatched a lot of the show with my friend Studios, just to catch him up on the series, and that was a really fun ride. And also, like, when you go back to the earlier parts with later context, it really does, you pick up a lot of things that you don't before, and it's also fun, like, talking theory stuff with, my friend Cam and stuff before. It's just a good freaking show in general, like, the core concept. I don't know if I should say the core concept. I think most people know it, but on the off chance someone doesn't, I won't. I will say it is an isekai. However, I would make the argument this show is actually a little critical of most isekai tropes. Like, not just like the, oh, we're trying to be edgy, but more like it has more things it wants to... Like, I think it is actually aware of the kind of people that are interested in the genre, and is actually interested in helping them grow as people. That's how this show actually feels to me. And I really like the show in terms of, like, the way the main character, Subaru, like, grows and everything. 'Cause he's a flawed person, but he is a super strong, like, main character. And, season 3 is wacky. They do some things different that I really did not expect. And it's very interesting. And it's also shorter than the other seasons, because I think they wanted to shorten the time before they work on season 4, which is coming out next year. So I'm going to get to watch more. And I am very curious to see where the plot goes from here. But, yeah. I think the only thing about getting into ReZero right now is that it's a continuing to evolve plot line. So, you know, you may be in the waiting room, or you may have to go back and read the light novel to catch up on things. But as it stands, I'm enjoying the ride so far. Hello, Funhow. Welcome. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, I just saw you said Gundam with the... Is this the season with the white? Maybe. Anyway. Okay. So... We're gonna switch back to... Let's go to this song for a little bit. From Prime 2. But, yeah. Alright, let's switch back over here. And we're gonna go to the tier list. Hope you're doing good, Funhow. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, this is Peak Fiction. up there with this. Honestly, might be my favorite thing on here. But I'm putting this here as a representation of, I think, ReZero collectively, because even though I say season 3, I'm recommending the rest of the show with it. It's just part of the experience, you know? So, yeah. Anyway. Cool. So, now we're gonna get back into this. Oh, wrong thing. Alright, so, I bundled the Star Wars stuff together for this. Right. So, I basically, while I was studying for classes, I ended up watching, Star Wars Bad Batch all the way through, because I watched, like, the first, like, season a while ago, and, I finally finished it. Oh, for ReZero? I mean, I've been generally broken. I hear anime box sets are very expensive, so, I don't own most anime box sets, period. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask for that, but if you would be interested in getting it, I would say watch the show, see if you like it, and if you want to support afterwards, then go for it. Yo, Amy, welcome. Yeah. Bad Batch. I liked it. I will say, I think there are parts of it that kind of do drag, but I think there's a lot of, Filoni stuff, because he does like his world building and character stuff. I mean, again, I think he worked on Last Airbender, and I think you can feel a lot of his writing style in his more serialized stuff with that, where he's just kind of a similar pacing, I want to say, which can be kind of hit or miss when you're like binging a show. I think with Bad Batch, yeah, I think there were certain key characters that really stood out to me, although their names escape me only because I'm terrible with names. Right, I think Omega grew on me a lot. There was, oh god dang it, the sniper guy. He's like the best character in the show. I liked him a lot. This is my horrible memory. This is my 10 out of 10 accolade, but I do mean it. In general, I also watched this earlier in the year. Regardless, I quite like the show. If you are a big fan of Clone Wars and you want to see more of the time period between... Crosshair. Thank you, JC. I am stupid. I think he's the best character of the show for me. I like him. But yeah, I think in general... What I really like about a lot of this here is that this is just fleshing out the time period between, actually I think almost everything I watched, and also played, were fleshing out the time period between episode 3 and 4, and I really like the way everything worked together cohesively in that regard, but as far as, like, these shows individually, yeah, it's starting to feel a little like MCU, where it's like, this is good, but, you know, it's not... on its own my favorite thing in the world. It's kind of the way it works together as a whole that I like. I think these Tales of things are very hit or miss for me. I think my favorite arc from all of them so far was the Count Dooku stuff and the Jedi thing. I don't think much really stuck with me. I think I like the Cad Bane thing kinda, that in Underworld. And in Empire, I like the Inquisitor stuff. I think those are the stuff I liked, and then the other half was like, Oh, man. I hope you feel better, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't really feel super strongly about the Tales of stuff for the most part, but there's some stuff I like. Yeah, Bad Batch, good stuff. Hey. Anyway. I will rank the Star Wars stuff after I go through this as well, but, this is, yeah, I'm not gonna rock the boat. This is probably some of the best stuff to come out of Star Wars. Andor, specifically. to the degree that it made me like Rogue One significantly more when I rewatched it. Even though Rogue One now has a few prequel problems now, but regardless, I think as a whole, I like just Andor is everything I said before, but it's just kind of like, yeah, this is just the world we're fleshing it out, but this time on a far more gritty adult level. I do want to clarify though, I don't think I necessarily want Star Wars to be Andor exclusively. I'm not gonna say that because I think Star Wars is a lot of things, and this is just choosing to explore the ground level stuff in a very grounded, very realistic way. But you know, I mean, I think the only thing I would say about it is there were points where I'm just like, I really hope some people don't get inspired in a certain way by this show, because some of the messaging is very on the nose in a way that concerns me. But outside of that, I think it's a very good show, and it does tackle a lot of themes that are really good, and like it's just well made. The acting's great. Freaking crazy long take that happens during one episode. Like, the people who made this know what they're doing on like a filmmaking level, and it's but yeah, it's one that like it requires your attention though. And that's the only thing is like I only watched this when I was like, this is not a background noise show. You need to be paying attention because it is again, it's aimed at an older audience, so it expects you to lock in when you're watching it, and you do get rewarded for doing so. But it's not like the other Star Wars things at all. Yeah. So, anyway. Alright. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that in a second. I was gonna talk about my art. I added this today. As a fun little detour. But first we're going to, real quick, though, rank these. Okay, so I think I liked Bad Batch more than Superman, but I don't know if I like it as much as that Batman movie. Because it does have parts that kind of drag, and I will say that the character development is technically a little bit uneven. I think they're an enjoyable cast, but it's like, I think like the world building and stuff like that are like my favorite parts of it, as far as like the way it fleshes out like the larger clones. Like whenever it tries to tell storytelling Clone War style, I am like I'm locked in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put it here, but above Superman. I'm gonna put Minecraft movie down, just because I feel like I want to just put the Tales of Ones here. They're fine. I think I like 50% of them a lot, and then the other part I can just kind of check out. But I don't think they're bad. I just not super interested. I don't have a lot to say about them. Yeah, Andor though, it's another one. It's peak. It's good. I'm not rocking the boat on that one. I enjoyed it a lot. Let me real quick move the YouTube chat again. And alright, Rogue One, I think I would put it right underneath Batman. I think it's very pretty looking, and it's very enhanced now as like a finale to Andor. And I hear there's like a recut that makes it feel more like Andor that I might check out at some point, and that might bump it even higher. But yeah, I think with Rogue One, it's like a good finale to that. It's not the greatest finale it could have in its base form, but it's good. It's before I did not care about it as much. It probably would have been like here or something, but it's elevated now by Andor, which is good. Good job, guys. So yeah. Anyway, that is my TV show, and if I were to just give a row above, just to be like, you know, I'll just call it like SSS or something. I'll just go with that. For the memes. I'll probably put ReZero there, although this is probably like the most accurate to how I think I feel right now. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This is good stuff. Anyway, right, we're gonna do a small little detour though, because I want to talk about something else. So let's real quick go back over here, put this back on, and I'm gonna change to Phendrana Drifts. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I want to very briefly talk about my art this year. I haven't done a lot of new art pieces, all things considered, but that were like not for commissions. Like I've basically been focusing on commissions when I have been doing art lately. But yeah, I did a Acheron piece. This was pretty cool. There's like 2 versions. The full version of this is exclusively on Patreon. Because I don't give enough perks on that. But if you want early access stuff, I have it posted there, pretty sure, and you'll be able to view it there. I'll have to double check my perks on that. I added that very recently, but yeah, there's 2 versions of Acheron here. I really like drawing this one. This is probably my favorite one I drew this year. That's like original art, and yeah, I had fun with this. I also, to celebrate Tales of Xylia on stream, I made this. I didn't finish this on stream, but you guys can see me doing like the early sketches for it. Tales of Xylia, one of my favorite RPGs. I love it. It's great. And I really enjoyed making this one. I think it definitely took a while, just because of the character designs, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah. Okay. Thank you. A few other pieces I did this year. There is the Herda, as well as Grendel versus Chromatis, and this is a other Tales of thing. I will not be very specific for the time being, but yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I like what I did. I should say good stuff about my own thing. It feels weird, but yeah, I'm proud of what I did with these. This one was very hard to make, though. There's a lot going on with these designs on that bottom right. Actually, both of these were. Anytime I have to draw anything from Hoyo, which is like just Herda and like freaking Acheron, oh my god. But yeah, I think this was a good exercise. Did pretty good. I like it. Which, on that topic again, I do a lot of art comms. I was gonna showcase some of the art comms I did, but because I put this in here last minute, I didn't have the chance to contact some of the people that I commissioned with to get their permission, because I would feel more comfortable doing that. So instead, I'm just gonna post this and then just say like, hey, if you guys are interested in commissioning me, you guys can do that. I mean, I know it's one person, but I didn't want to just have like one art on here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had fun doing this, and hope you are interested. Anyway. I know, great sales pitch. All right, and this is also my art shop, which I set up this year. I feel pretty happy about that. There's like a few of the things I have there. I finally have posters available. I don't know if I've actually promoted this on stream. I might have in the art one that I did, but technically speaking, I made 2 of these illustrations with the express purpose of you being able to put them on your walls if that interests you. So, or if you know anyone that would be interested, you can. But I do also have like stickers, or not stickers, like pins and like standees for like a few things. So again, if any of that interests you, check it out. I haven't gotten too many people ordering my things, so I hope it all works out. Also, I'm realizing this may be very quiet. I apologize if that is too quiet. So yeah. All right. Anyway, I think that is enough plugging there. We're here. I appreciate it. By the way, you can see links to all that stuff in the description. So, it's time, everyone. We're here for the games. The Vidya games. Let's, switch on over to this track real quick. Let's, do this. Alright, so, very first, Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Alright, I need to switch to something more low-key now. Alright, we'll come back to that track. Alright, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I have a lot of mixed feelings on this game. So, I'm an old head with Zelda. I'll admit this. This was a weird Zelda game. I can describe it like this. I really like the story. So I'll start with, maybe I should start with the complaints, and then I'll get into the things I like, because I would rather end on a positive note than, you know, but, yeah, this game kind of tried to be a hybrid of a Link Between Worlds style game while also incorporating a lot of open world Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda stuff, and I don't think it comes together in a way that really works for me. It kind of inherited the menu navigation problem that, like, Tears of the Kingdom has a little bit, where, like, you are just sorting through things a while. They did add, like, a favorites thing, I think, recently, but it is, like, one of those things where I feel like we used to have menu navigation down a lot better in older Zelda games, and I don't really... yeah. It's, like, core gimmick's weird, because this one, you don't... because you're playing as Zelda... The best way I could describe it is, like, they looked at the Rocks Cane from older 2D Zelda games, and they were like, what if you just summoned, like, enemies to, like, fight for you? And it's like, this is neat. I think they said in development, they came up with it as an item for Link early on, or something. But, they then, like, I think when they went to make Zelda playable or something later on, they decided to just make it be the central gimmick of the game rather than its own item. So that you are forced to use it more. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It is not as fun as playing as Link. Which is very telling because the game has like a meter that allows you to temporarily transform into like a Link form. And the Link form is so much more fun. And you can upgrade it to stay in the meter longer. So the further along in the game, the less you are relying on the game's central gimmick and just playing it like normal Zelda, which I think really says a whole lot about how the game is actually put together. I think with the puzzles, I think they also have a lot of my problems with modern Zelda puzzles where it's just like, it doesn't even feel like a puzzle. It feels like I'm just throwing things at a wall until I clear a room, and it doesn't feel satisfying. I think, like, yeah, I have a lot of issues with the gameplay of this sucker. But, alright, the positives. I like the story a lot. Actually, it picked a place in the timeline for the first time in a while, and it actually kind of does some fun stuff with the lore. It adds one really cool inclusion to the larger Zelda lore that really fleshes things out a lot, and it, like, makes, and recontextualizes some stuff in a good way with the older games, and that's really cool. I like that a lot. I think in general, the character stuff is pretty neat, and I like that we got to see, like, both Zora races existing. And that's a funny little thing for people that are big into the series, but it's something that, like, hadn't happened until this game. It's cool, and I like to see them interacting in their little arc. I think the structure of it I don't actually dislike, where you can kind of just go to these regions and then kind of do their dungeons. Again, it's a little more Breath of the Wild-like in that sense, but that part works for me, in that they managed to have, like, a linear storyline with all that. But yeah, I think, again, the big Achilles heel for me with this game is its gameplay. I see. I mean, that would also make sense, JC. But yeah, I think as it is, though, yeah, I don't really... I have very mixed feelings on this. Because here's the thing, I can complain about, like, Breath of the Wild and Tears for, like, not being what I like about old Zelda. But this one kind of feels like it's trying to be both, and it kind of faceplants trying to be both. And it's really unfortunate. I think they could coexist, but this game did not execute it well. So, anyway, let's go to my game ranking, and okay. I don't know. I wish I liked it more, but I think I'm putting it, at least, I'm putting it here for now, because I know some other things that are coming later that will, it's not going to be at the bottom, I can say that much, but, yeah. Okay. Let me read what you said. Yeah. That's very fair. Okay, so anyway, we're still on Zelda though. There's a very funny hack for Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time that basically decides to do an entire Phoenix Wright campaign in Ocarina of Time, or like a court case thing. So I've never played Phoenix Wright, but my friend wanted me to play this anyway for funsies, and I liked it. It was very fun. It was actually well written. Yes, there's an Ace Attorney Zelda hack. Yes. Yeah, I really liked it. And I think it has like references to both sides, but like I think the Zelda sides were pretty fun. It basically just plays exactly the same. I think they have like anyway, my friends who know like Ace Attorney better than me could tell you better, but they basically said that this plays like, except for the investigation part, they did not incorporate that, but like everything about the court cases is like, I guess, 1-to-1 with those games. So if that interests you, check it out. It's neat. And thank you, C. Thank you. I will get to those eventually. I think it came out this year. I'm pretty sure. It was either this year or last year. So anyway, right. So we'll switch back over to this. Pretty sure I have that in here. Okay. I think that's either B or A. I'll put it B tier. Maybe A. It was good. It was a good time. Well, I think I may have to add we'll add another SSS tier. I'll put it A tier, and then, yeah, we will work from there. So, let's switch back over to the slideshow. Let me look at what you're saying. Alright. Anyway, I played another Zelda ROM hack. This is Sands of Time, not to be confused with Prince of Persia. So, this one was actually really cool. So this one is an Ocarina of Time hack, but it is a fully fleshed out campaign with its own story and its own dungeons with like tiny, and I want to emphasize tiny, Souls-like elements in it. But it's 99% just Ocarina of Time. It's just like they kind of changed the way milk bottles work to like be where they're more like Estus flasks, but otherwise it's just Ocarina of Time. And there's like, yeah. So I think as far as like the way this is designed though, it has like a few custom bosses, and the dungeons are really complex and crazy, and there's like a lot of like other tiny ones, and the way it's structured is really interesting. As someone who's played a bunch of Ocarina of Time, I would never recommend this to somebody that is not a like I am starved for classic 3D Zelda kind of person like me. That's like the main person I would recommend this to. But for what it's worth, I think this is a really cool hack, and it does a lot of really good stuff with the gameplay. But the negatives, the story's kind of bad. I don't really, especially the way it's written, like there's like typos, and it feels like it was also written by someone that English is their like second language. Not to knock on them, cool on them, they made something really awesome. It's just worth mentioning. Yeah, and the fact that it's written in English, I kind of want to bring that up. But I think with the game in general, though, and it's also a bit edgy. I would say this game is quite edgy, which is not abnormal for fan projects, but it is worth mentioning that it is quite edgy. I think they had a song called Song of Slave, and I was just like, bro, come on. Yeah, like the entire premise is basically kind of like the bad timeline in Ocarina, but they were just like, Hyrule fell into decay, there's nothing left, bro, there's like pollution, man, it's dark timeline thing. But yeah, there were some good moments that did come out of it. I want to give credit where it's due, but you should know what you're getting into when you're playing this one. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think, especially as like a fan game thing, and a lot of the powers that it does are like the dungeon items are really freaking cool. I'm gonna put it up next to Hero of Law. I think I might like it slightly more because it's giving me more of that gameplay itch that I miss. But like sand, yes. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Again, maybe like if the plot was a little bit better, maybe I'd be able to bump it, but yeah, I'll put it here. I'm sure most of you will probably like this one more though. Anyway, all right, let's switch back over. All right, so Superliminal. This is a game that was it was like a part of a Steam family thing. My friend Snivy recommended it. I tried it out. It's okay. I think this is sort of in a similar vein to Portal. It's like a puzzle game. Basically the way it works is you pick up an object. I'm gonna change tracks again. Let's go back to this one. Yep. Okay, so this is a puzzle game, which is similar to Portal. Basically, the idea of Superliminal is that, like, the objects you pick up, it does, like, a perspective thing. So, like, if you lift up an object and you, like, point it upwards or something, it will actually enlarge the object because it, like, treats it like it's, like, very far away from you. It's, like, the concept is, like, you're in, like, a weird dream world thing. So, like, it's playing by dream logic. But it's just kind of weird perspective puzzles, the game. It's neat in that regard. I think the main thing that holds this back from being as good as something like Portal, though, is that, like, writing didn't really do anything for me. And I think, like, the back third of it kind of devolved into, I want to say, the person who made it kind of just waxing philosophical at me, is what it felt like. Or he was just kind of talking about, like, the state of meaning. Like the person basically just trying to sound really freaking deep. And it's like, it's cool and everything. This is not doing anything for me, though. And yeah, I agree, Callum, yeah. Like, it also just kind of felt like the game just sort of ended, and I was like, okay, yeah. Like, it's cool. Like, it's a fun way to spend a few hours, but it's, like, far from my favorite thing out there, you know? And I appreciate the person who made it wanting to, like, say something deeper and everything. And you know what? If he's proud of it and he thinks he made something really, like, that is making a statement or whatever, I mean, good on him. I'm just speaking whether it worked for me, which really did not. But that's okay. So, yeah, that is Superliminal. See? That's funny. Okay. Let's go here and right. Where is that game? There it is. I think I do like Echoes of Wisdom more. It's not bad. It's just there. Yeah. Okay. No, you can tease me. Fine. Anyway. Oh my god. I forgot this is where I placed this one. Hold on. I need to stop the music for a second. Okay. So, I played this game. I just finished this game. If you don't know what this game is, so this game, oh my god. Okay, so this is a VTuber game. It is basically produced by Hololive. It's like an indie game. And I can't believe I'm saying it. This game's actually kind of peak. Oh my god. Alright. I will have to explain myself now. This is a game that I think it has to be seen to be believed. But like, I kind of loved this. Unironically, okay, first of all, I need to say the people who made it, because the journey on it while I was playing, I'm like, wow, so at first glance, I was like, this seems kind of Mega Man Zero-y, and then the more I played it, I was like, this is starting to feel more like Sonic or like Spark the Electric Jester, the more I was playing it. And then I was looking at the art style, I'm like, this is vaguely reminding me of Freedom Planet, and then I looked it up, and this is literally made by, like, Galaxy Trail? I think that's the devs. The people who made Freedom Planet 1 and 2. Like, they made this, and from the very little I have seen of Freedom Planet 1 and 2, they actually went all in on this, in spite of its premise. Like, the very weird thing about Hololive, I used to watch a good amount of them. Don't ask. Alright, it was the time. But they have lore, and it's weird, but they have so much lore to work with that they actually had a lot of material. Like, every quarter of this game, for no reason, they actually went hard. From the music, to the actual gameplay, to, like, the graphics, to even, if you could get past the fact that it's, like, VTuber characters, the story's actually good, too, as far as, like, this kind of game is concerned. It is wild. I unironically think this is one of my favorite games I played this year. I may have some recency bias here, though. But it's actually banger. And yeah. Anyway, this will be the one time I talk about this, because this is the most bizarre recommendation I could possibly do. Okay, fair enough, Gundam. Okay, Gundam, I easily recommend this then. If any of you guys do watch Hololive, play this game. Like, what are you doing? Go play this game. This is actually insane how good this is. And you know what? If you don't like Hololive, you may or may not cringe at the plot. But I think you'll still really like the gameplay. Like, that part is unquestionably solid. The gameplay and music. Like, it's so good. So yeah. Anyway, probably the strangest recommendation of this entire thing, but I mean it. I kind of love this game. So, right, we're gonna go back to the tier list now. Okay. Man. So yeah, where am I ranking this one? I definitely like it more than these two. That's so funny that it's here right now, at least. Maybe I'll put these two down for now, and we'll put this one here. We'll figure out what happens as we progress here, but, yeah, I think also in particular, if you're a big fan of Mega Man Zero and Sonic and Spark the Electric Jester and probably Freedom Planet, this is up your alley. No questions really needed on that one. Like, I think you'll like it. So, yeah. Okay. I know, that's so wild. Alright. Sonic! Oh god. Oh god. I'm gonna switch to this here. Okay, so very early in the year, I thought it would be fun to do a marathon of the 3D Sonic games. I ended up only doing half of the 3D Sonic games. Now, I played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 a lot, and I played a good chunk of Sonic 06 at one point, and I played a hack of Shadow the Hedgehog before. But, like, outside that, I had not played any of the games you see here, really. So, basically just Heroes and base Shadow and, like, the rest of 06. So, yeah, I guess I'll just talk about those. I'm not going to focus on Adventure 1 and 2 because I played them enough times. So, yeah, Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog. Where's that tank? Fourth Chaos Emerald. It's so true. Okay, so Sonic Heroes. Literally my first time actually beating the game. And, I had ups and downs. In all rounds. Oh, God. Okay, so as someone who loves adventure, it took getting used to. The way that it played in general, because it plays nothing like the others. I think getting the rhythm down with the character swapping was one thing. I think a constant with the entire game, though, is that it was very jank. I was dying constantly for quite a while playing it. Oh, believe me, I will probably continue that next year at some point. But, yeah, I got very frustrated at several points. Hilariously, though, I think the route I think I liked the most is the one no one liked, and I do not know why. I think it was Chaotix. I do not know why. I think it's because it was slower paced, and I think I like the game better when I'm not going fast. Basically when I'm not playing it like it's a Sonic game. I don't know. It's a bizarre freaking game. But I think, like, as I went along, it got better. I was enjoying my time with it. And then the special stage grind happened. And the moment the special stage grind happened, all of my good faith of the game flew out the window. Like, I hated that so much. That is the jankiest half-pipe minigame I've done in my life. And having to, like, redo the whole level again just to try again, because all the emeralds are locked by stage. So you have to, like, get just a no-damage run of each stage, potentially multiple times if you screw up on the half-pipe. And I was mauling on a few of those levels. especially some of those half pipes. Amy's was fine, except for the last one. The last one, she went too slow to reliably get it, so I had to do it with Sonic. And again, Amy's stages are shorter, Sonic's stages are slightly longer. So, like, that meant I just had to redo a longer version of the stage every time. I don't like the special stages. It ruined any good faith I had for it. And, like, also just a lot of jank and, like, just other, no. So this is where I get to the really funny one. Actually, no, I'm going to do this first. We're going to switch back over to the tier list. With that in mind, I think I'm putting Sonic Heroes kind of around here. Maybe... No. You know what I'm realizing? Actually... We're adding a F tier, but we're not putting that there. We're just gonna put these two here, and then I think that works enough. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm putting it there. I think that seems fair. I wish I liked it more. I mean, I don't know. It has some charm. I liked it more than I thought it would. Maybe I do like it there. Superliminal on D. Nah. You know what? I'll put it there for now. I think it has some charm to it. It's just like I said. Also, the special stages were some of the last things I did in that game, so that's a note to end on with that one. Okay. Anyway. So we're talking about the funny one now. Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm just gonna, whoop, no, switch back. So this is where I say that I actually think I kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog. This is where the full contrarianism. I'm not doing this on purpose, I swear. Okay. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't have problems. Like, I understand people's issues with replaying it 10 times, and I understand the mission structure thing is not for everybody. I think just following up immediately after Sonic Heroes, which on its own plays fundamentally different from Adventure, even down to the fact that I felt more comfortable not going fast, that I felt like I was already in the mindset to just treat Shadow as its own thing when I played it. And a few things that it has going for it is, one, when you get hit, you don't, like, lose all your rings. You only lose a certain amount, which is a really nice quality of life change. Two, I feel it actually, in my opinion, I like the way its control feels better than Sonic Heroes in general. I mean, like, you have a lot of, like, it kind of takes mechanics from Heroes and also brings back a few things from Adventure. And, like, I'll go ahead and say this, I kind of don't mind the routing aspect of the game, because I think here's the thing, if there's a stage you don't like, it's very easy to avoid them. If you, like, know, like, a stage that you can burn through really quickly and easily, you can just make sure that that is just part of the route, and then just diverge when you need to, and just make sure that you take the path you want to, generally. So, like, you have a lot of freedom in terms of how you want to play the game when you get familiar with it, and it gets easier to do that with each, like, playthrough, I found. So, like, I think if you are thinking ahead of time, not just about, oh, clearing the level, but also just, like, which missions you want to do and, like, planning around, I think, yeah, You can make it as comfortable or painful as you want it to be. I'm not gonna say that it isn't like horribly like there are some missions that are just not fun. No, there are some. Again, that's why it may be a backhanded compliment that you can choose to route around them, but like I do like that still. And I think it lends to replayability in the sense that it's just like, hey, if you just want to play the game and you just want to do some whack pathway and just do something crazy, you can. I think like the different like story routes are kind of like fun little what if scenarios. I do think though that the plot's messy. The fact that the way the cutscenes are, I'm not gonna disagree with people. That's bad. I didn't like the plot in Heroes either though. Between these two, I vastly prefer Shadow. And I don't know, that I think I've seen that starting to be a slightly more popular take than it was recently. I do not know why, but that is my opinion. I'm sorry, Heroes fans. And nothing in this made me rage. Eggman getting karate chopped. Yeah, no. I don't think anything in this made me rage anywhere near on the level of like freaking the special stages. And you know what? I'll also add to this. I like Shadow. He's like my favorite character in Sonic. Even like this not great version of him. I do like anything SA2, and there's like a lot of fun little SA2 nods in this, so it's like it feels more cohesive to the side of Sonic that I have the most nostalgia for. Like I freaking love Sonic 3 a lot too. So like I'm Adventure 2 pilled. Sue me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Fun game, in my opinion. Alright, we'll go to the tier list. I'm gonna put Shadow. I think I do actually like him more than Echosexual. Do I? Yeah. Oh, I'm being so mean to this game. I feel bad. Hold on, I need to actually think here. No, those puzzles were not my favorite. Yeah, I think, yeah. Am I doing this? Am I really doing this to Echoes of Wisdom right now? Okay. I don't know if I want it up there with those two, though. I'll put it here. This is a very funny duo next to each other, though. Some of it is questioning my own sanity. Even if it is wrong. It's fine. Anyway, let's get back over to the rest of this. That's so funny. That is a valid point, C. I cannot argue with that. Anyway, right. Oh god, the funny one. Okay. I think I'm feeling slightly stun-locked by having to talk about this one. Okay. Sonic 06. Alright, so, I want to actually back up a bit. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that this one is like good, just to clarify, okay? But I will have to do some explaining before I say anything else. Again, for the longest time, I was hardcore adventure biased. Like, I'm talking, anytime I played a boost game, I didn't vibe with it, tier of just adventure biased, okay? Like, I played Generations and thought it was just okay. Because I just really like Adventure 1 and 2. A little too much, you might say. So, I think this game frustrates me. Because this game is directly responsible for basically my type of Sonic never coming back ever again. And I am very annoyed at it and Sega for that happening. Granted, I like the timeline, and I'm not going to do a hypothetical of, I will go back in time and change it. And people like the boost games. This is a timeline that's whatever. Fine. This isn't... But, speaking specifically with me, it was hard for me to, like, want to, like, break out of my comfort zone. And part of the reason I did the 3D Sonic Marathon in the first place was to help me do that. I still need to get to boost properly with, like, Unleash and stuff. But, so... with this game, it is a mess. Everything everyone has said about it is more or less true. I will say I've played worse games, though. And I do mean that sincerely. I talked about it with someone in another server recently. If you think this game is bad, you should try Dawn of Mana. Not to say that one bad game is, like, makes another one not. But, like, when I play this game... I see under the surface Adventure 3. It's unfinished. It's buggy. But I do respect the heck out of what it's trying to do. Having all these, like, different characters' play styles, trying to, like, bring this whole adventure arc with, like, the heroes and, like, Shadow the Hedgehog gameplay styles, just, and even, like, Blaze, and bring them into 3D like that is something that, like, I respect the heck out of. But yeah, it's held back by load time issues, bugs, clipping, on things that weren't accounted for, the quests and its load times, and just, like, other things that were bad about Heroes and Shadow as well. But... and, like, the story... I like Shadow's story. I'll go ahead and say, I do actually still... I like Shadow's story. I think that is, like, the best part of the game. Silver has moments. But, like, Sonic's story is terrible. It's god-awful. I'll even disagree with, like... I feel actually, in my opinion, the time travel in Shadow's route specifically actually isn't that bad at all. Actually, I think it's cool the way they use it in that one. And I think just more people that... like, what was it? I saw Johnny's review back then, and it just kind of felt like he wasn't very familiar with the concept of a bootstrap paradox. Because that's what they were doing with him in that. So yeah, that's a criticism that I, like, don't agree with people. But yeah, on the whole, though, this game is unfinished. So anyway, I played one route of Sonic 06 way back when on PS3. And after, like, watching so many videos and everything, I will admit I'm incapable of feeling the same pain most people did, because I've watched so many thorough reviews that I have every pitfall you can run into burned into my brain. So I have, like, a very bizarre bias where I know what to avoid when playing this. Okay. So that is one thing I need to admit. But also, too, I have played a lot of Project 06. Because since playing that PS3 version, I played, like, every release of 06 multiple times, Project 06 multiple times. It is actually my favorite Sonic game. Project 06 is actually fire, and I love it. like gameplay wise. The story is probably unsalvageable, but like it is actually Adventure 3. And while I don't know exactly what decision Sega would have made in a quote-unquote good timeline, where like they had more time to finish the game, Project 06 feels like at the very least it delivers on what 06 was trying to do with its gameplay. And I vibe with it like crazy. I love it. But yeah. So, I've now gone back and played base 06. And after that entire journey, it's made 06 feel like a unfinished like alpha or beta version of the game that just got leaked or something. Which is not what happened, but it's what it feels like after you go back after Project 06. And it's really it's weird. Again, because of what it's trying to do, and the fact that I like adventure a lot, and the fact that I know how to play adventure, and I know what to avoid, I can't have a fully bad time with this one, compared to some people. That's just how it is. But with, I understand the issues. Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's worse games though. Because at least with this one, there's like paths of least resistance. And you can learn to get good at it pretty easily. And that there are enjoyable ways to play 06. I do mean that. But like, yeah, Project 06 is just it realized. Yeah, no, honestly, I think when Project 06 comes out, it's gonna be like pointless to play the OG. Well, okay. The only thing is that it doesn't sound like Project 06 has any interest in doing like the hub world or anything like that, which I mean, mileage may vary, but like, you know, that keeps it from being a standalone way to play it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait until Chaos X finishes the thing and see how it is in execution, I guess, right? So yeah. Anyway, so I guess we'll just go back to ranking this one, because that is a case of, yeah. I do not have Project 06 on this, because also it's not finished. But yeah, I'll put this here. But if I were to put Project 06 as it currently stands in here, it would probably be right there next to the Chrono game. I think maybe like a little bit higher. Like just right above it. Okay, that's a very funny statement, considering what it is, but just focus on the letter, guys. Focus on the letter. I really like Project 06. Heck, it may even go here, actually, in S. It's really freaking fun. And yeah, just a good freaking, like, version of the game. So. Alright. With that, we are now good to go on to... God dang it! We're going for one... Okay. I forgot I ranked this in order like that. Oh, I just spent 10 years talking about this. Alright, I guess I'm staying on the podium, guys. I have to explain myself again. God dang it. Okay, this is for very different reasons. Let's have some Zeiss. Oh my god. I did not consider I would have to do that twice in a row. Alright. So... Honkai Star Rail. Alright. So in my video last year... In my video last year, I basically had an entire segment talking about Star Rail and how I actually kind of like this game a lot. I do not play gachas, just to clarify, really. This is the only gacha I think I'm ever going to allow myself to play. And a lot of that is because this was advertised as being very inspired by, just trails in general. And the main reason I feel like I have to be on this podium is, like, the general vibe. The moment you start talking about any gacha game, people just, like, they zone the frick out, and they're like, the live service thing ruins people's lives. So, like, I kind of feel I have to explain myself, and it's very unfortunate. I think with this game, though, what I really like about... Hey, Ryan. Yo. I think the big thing with this game, though, is that it has a lot of issues that are directly tied to its gacha, but also from a lot of friends I've talked to that are into gacha, this is one of the nicer ones by, like, a good margin. I've gotten quite a few good characters just from being free to play, because I've been completely free to play the entire time I've played this. It's really funny, Ryan. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree, and I'm about to go into that. But yeah, I will just say, as far as, like, the gameplay is concerned, I think it has some really good combat mechanics, but I think the one thing that I would change from what I said last year is power creep sucks. And it's been hitting real hard in Amphoreus in particular, because a lot of what made its combat really cool and special kind of feels like it doesn't really matter in comparison to certain builds when you get to, like, end game content, because then at that point you're, like, just trying to optimize damage output, and they want to try and emphasize you to get the new characters, and it's just like, oh my god. So yeah, gameplay is starting to fall apart a little bit for me, which I really do hate to say. But I do want to say, though, god dang, do I like the story of these games. Or this game. Yeah, I really like the story of this game. So, I'm trying to think of where I would even begin to try and explain myself on this one, because, okay, the thing with Star Rail, it has a very big and expansive world, lots of lore. Like, most of its universe has to do with, like, these deities, and these deities, like, represent, like, factions, or they represent, philosophical concepts, basically. I think I've heard it compared to Greek mythology, I guess, but, like, generally you have, all these, like, different, like, cosmic beings that just represent, like, for example, if you are all about, like, hunting down, bad people, or just, just think they need to be, like, stopped, that sort of a thing, you would be on the path of the hunt, and then you would be aligned with, like, the deity that's part of that or something, just because that's, like, part of your philosophy. So that's, like, a big part of its, like, storytelling and themes. But yeah, there's, like, a ton of planets because it's a space RPG series. So, like, you go to all these planets, and, like, these planets have their own arcs in them that have, like, their own factions, and their own factions can sometimes follow different deities, and it can be a lot to follow. I can say that much. Now, a part of what drew me to the games was all what I'm saying, just the lore and, like, the space stuff, and it's, like, really cool and expansive. But yeah, I think the Lafu arc was the hardest barrier, just because of it really struggling to communicate that world building within the narrative itself. It very much relied on you reading, like, it went full Final Fantasy 13 basically. However, I think Penacony and Amphoreus balance it significantly better for the most part. So let's get into those, because those are what I played this year. So Penacony. All right, I'm gonna be real. Penacony and Amphoreus are both some of my favorite stories I have played this year, and I really do mean that. But I think it is impossible for me to truly communicate that with you guys. So I will just stick with the basic premise of them, with like a few comments to go with it. Penacony's wacky. I've heard its concept, once again going back to earlier, being compared to something that would not be out of place in Doctor Who. So in Star Rail, there's like this substance that is like a manifestation of like people's like memories. So like this is a thing they discovered, I guess, where it's like a wibbly wobbly thing. It's connected to memories, and called Memoria. And people learned to manipulate it and create a like dream world. So like you would go into like a bath, and then your brain would just like exit your body and go into like basically this is a funny way to describe it, but like a VR chat, like a dream VR chat. And you could just go in there and interact with other people in a dream world. That is its entire concept. And I really liked a little bit, yeah. So the entire arc is like really cool, and they do a lot of cool stuff with it, like you'd be able to walk up on walls and all that other stuff. And I think in general, it has... I think the thing that's interesting about Penacony is it kind of has like a mystery part of its plotline, because some stuff happens early on, and you know, everything seems like really fun and happy, and then you kind of realize there's some stuff going on under the surface, and you're just trying to unpack like what's really going on. And it is very engaging, and there's a lot of factions that get involved. Again, we're kind of dragging in other factions, so I'm not going into that, but it is just a story that is just a lot of players all interested in this one location, and you don't really know exactly what's happening, and you're just trying to piece it together, and it's very cool and engaging. And like it's all in this like weird dreamscape where it feels like they could do a lot of almost anything they want to as far as like cool visuals and everything. And the pacing, I've heard people say the pacing's slow, and I feel it's more just that it has a lot of plot. This is where the plot density gets longer than Trails. Oh yeah. I think the plot density starts getting longer than Trails. I think you could be in cutscenes for several hours depending on what's going on. I think it very much started feeling like I was watching an anime like Madoka or something after a point with this, where I was just like sitting there just enjoying the story. Again, the gameplay was fine, but I was definitely locked in for what was happening in the plot at this stage of the game. And they did a really good job with all of that. A few parts that, like, sure, it's like, it's a gameplay section because we need to have gameplay, and there's more of that in Amphoreus, but I think, in general, I really liked how fast the plot itself kind of moved for me, and just, like, considering how much it had to tackle and all this stuff going on, I found it really good. I don't know. I thought it was good. And I think this is one of my favorite plots I experienced this year, and unlike Ryan, I disagree. I thought the ending slapped, for me at least. I really liked it. But I'm not going to go into why, because I don't want to spoil people. So, Amphoreus, though. Okay, this one I think is a little bit more divisive, but I think I like this one more than Penacony. But it has like a lot of higher highs and lower lows, but it is a way more ambitious story. So, once again, bare minimum premise, bare minimum, after the events in the previous arc, basically we find out about a weird planet that no one has ever heard of before called Amphoreus, and then when we go to investigate it, we get our, like, landing ship kind of gets sniped out of the sky, and then we are stuck on this planet that is very isolated from the larger universe, down to the fact that it has, like, its own deities, and is very Greek. It's incredibly Greek mythology. Like, it is aggressively Greek mythology. And it just is very different from the other arcs because, again, we're just stranded in this world that is completely different and isolated from everything else. And there's a lot of mystery to it. It isn't without rhyme or reason. And there's some really crazy twists that happen in this particular arc. To the point that it actually does a deep lore pull at one point, which is insane. So, like, I will admit this has a drop point where it does kind of have a single case of Final Fantasy 13 syndrome because they don't want to tip their hat too much at the deep lore pull. Like, we're talking on the tier of again, I haven't played, by the way, I have not played Deltarune, but this feels like if out of nowhere, like, Gaster, right, like, showed up as a boss, like, partway through the story or something, right? Like, we're talking that level of it, you know? So, it's a very crazy arc, and I think the thing is with it, though, is that it also has, like, because it's very Greek mythology, it has a lot of characters in it that, I think the characters, so there's 13 characters because they're trying to do the full Greek mythology. So, like, you have, like, a Hercules equivalent, you have, like, so many characters that just represent, like, their own gods and everything, and, like, rather than, and because of the way the plot is structured, they don't want to do side stories. So you have a very long story that has to dedicate time to every single character. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't work the greatest. But it is important that they get you to know these characters' deal. But yeah, I don't know. I loved this one. Interesting. I don't, Ryan, anyway, it's fine. My point being, I'm not gonna comment on that. But overall, though, I quite like this. It was good. I thought Amphoreus was nice and fun and very peak and very exciting. And I don't want to say too much because then I have to go into specifics. But I think for anyone who says this arc is bad, I don't disagree. I don't agree. Again, I think it's good. Anyway, we're out. We're out the other end. I don't have to talk about Star Rail on this anymore. It's fine. Most of my fatigue is only just because, man, gacha game, people zone out. So yeah, Penacony. All right, so I feel like I can't rank Star Rail anywhere above A because of its gameplay right now. I feel like it's weird because I think Penacony has like the tighter pacing. It doesn't really have as low lows as like Amphoreus. So it's like really good. It's like, I'll probably put it maybe underneath the Chrono. Then that gameplay's really freaking good. I'll put it here, yeah. But Amphoreus, oh god, I love its highest. Like, it's like the highest in all of Star Rail. Which, by the way, the problem with both of these, you have to like get through both like 2 to 3 other arcs before you can even get to like Penacony, and then you have to get through Penacony also before you can get to Amphoreus. So like that's a lot of game. But yeah, I think Amphoreus, I put it on the same tier. And also, I think there's some stuff with Amphoreus, I will just say it feels, it's pending further future arcs for me. So maybe I'll put it here for now. It could go up, it could go down. I don't know. I liked it. It was good. Okay. So are you guys excited to finally be out of Star Rail Dungeon? Oh man. Let's see what's next on the list. Let's see. All right. Tellius, baby. Let's freaking go. I'm gonna change the music. Let's go to. Okay. All right. So, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn are two of my favorite Fire Emblem games of all time. I replayed them, like, basically... Well, I started my Path of Radiance replay last year. Sorry for the fan. Just warmed up in my room. I started my Path of Radiance replay last year. And I really, really like that game. It's still my... Okay. It was my favorite Fire Emblem game until my replay of Radiant Dawn. But I will say these two games are, like, my favorite storytelling in all of Fire Emblem. I really like Ike's journey. I really like his arc on the whole. I really like the general gameplay mechanics of these games, even though I will say this, Path of Radiance is very unrefined compared to Radiant Dawn, but Path of Radiance still is an insanely fun game to play, and it has, like, so many good characters. I think it has, like, probably, like, one of my favorite casts in all of Fire Emblem to this day. And a lot of that cast carries directly over to Radiant Dawn, and it still works there. Yeah, I don't really have too much to really say aside from the fact that when Path of Radiance comes to NSO, and if you guys are wanting to play it that way, I easily recommend it. It is a great game. I love it to death. And Radiant Dawn is my favorite one gameplay-wise out of the entire series. Like, no... I think, like, its only contest is something else I played this year gameplay-wise. They did such a banger job with the gameplay as far as, like, rebalancing Path of Radiance's mechanics and just making it just a good time. And, like, the map design is so freaking good. And the way that the gameplay works together with the story reminds me of, like, the old Shozo Kaga games as far as, like, ludonarrative gameplay design. It's just good stuff. And I've replayed Radiant Dawn so many times back in, like, middle school, and it was nice to replay it again. But I do want to highlight one thing. This time I replayed Radiant Dawn with a twist. So I did something really funny. Okay. So I get to bestow upon all of you cursed knowledge, which is unfortunate. Radiant Dawn is funny. So, basically in Japan, for some unhinged reason, they basically just were like, oh, hey, so we have an easy mode and a normal mode, and we're gonna have them have different scripts for some reason. And the normal mode is just gonna be heavily cut down and basically just streamlined, more exposition to cover up the things we cut out, and just a lesser version of the script. So you have to play on hard mode or above to have the proper plot. Now that's one thing on its own. Then they get one from Naruto. Yo, Jaden. That's one thing on its own, but then when they localize the game, which I should say the localization is otherwise good, but there's one fatal thing they did that okay, so they only localized the bad script, and they applied it to all difficulties in the West. So basically we have a good localization of a lesser version of the script, and that's all we got. So someone made a fan translation that basically just well, not fan trans. It's like a spreadsheet that I downloaded and everything. That was just like a direct translation of everything that was said, and I found a Japanese Let's Play. And while replaying the game, I was opening up the Let's Play after I saw the normal cutscenes. Oh my god, Jaden. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, wait. We have to switch over to... Oh my god. Oh, I need to change those alerts. Thank you, Jaden. That's right, because I sort of changed it, so now it's doing a thing. I need to... There'll be a new alert system eventually, guys. Thank you, Jaden. Wow. Oh my god. Wait, so who... I can't... Funhow got it, but not Gundam. Oh my god. Oh, poor Gundam, man. Open the wallet. That's amazing. That's so funny and horrible. Oh. Okay. Right, that nuked my entire thought process. Yeah, so Radiant Dawn. Yeah, basically I just went and found a Japanese Let's Play, had the translation on the side, and I just watched along and just read the thing, and so I got to quote-unquote experience the true plot of this game. Okay. And I gotta say, it is a subtle but substantial improvement. Like, you have no idea, especially during Act 1, it is night and day how different in, like, good quality the other one is. Because this feels very in line with Path of Radiance in terms of writing when you have, like, that translation. And, yeah. So, all of that to say, now that I've played it properly, this has now elevated the game to being my new favorite Fire Emblem game when properly translated. It has its issues. Like, I do wish it had a proper support system, but, like, between the story and the gameplay, I love Radiant Dawn. Like, it's really freaking good. And I just, yeah, easy recommendation. But regardless, we're gonna go back to the tier list. Also, man, Jaden, you showed up right after I spent, like, having to explain my thoughts on Sonic 06 and then got jump scared by having to talk about why I like a gacha game. I have been yapping so long. Help me. Anyway, right, so Radiant Dawn, it goes here. Path of Radiance is a little bit below it. I love those games. And, yeah. Okay. Anyway, engage, baby! Oh god. Okay, so, I started this when it came out, and then I dropped it. And... oh, give me a second. I'm gonna... You know what? I'm gonna lighten the mood. I'm gonna play this banger. I actually love this track from Engage. This is a great track. Yo, Snivy, welcome. Popping in for Engage, I see, huh? Oh, man. Okay. So, I'll go ahead and say this. This game is an acquired taste now. Boucheron for your entire playthrough. Okay. I don't think I hate the story of this, but it is messy. It's just one of those cases, this is going for like a Fire Emblem Awakening Fates type tone, which were very divisive to begin with in the fandom, and they followed up Three Houses with it. For what it's worth and what it's trying to do, I found it very entertaining. It has a very specific tone that when, you know, I push back my expectations of what I want from a Fire Emblem aside, it's like not the worst thing I've seen. I think the gameplay though is like amazing. This is like the #1 competitor with Radiant Dawn gameplay wise for me. Like the gameplay's so freaking good. The amount of like crazy like combos and like the ways you use like the emblems and like their movesets and the way it, like a lot of the maps are designed. I'll even say this has like in places as strong ludonarrative gameplay as Radiant Dawn, where like the maps are just like they have the bosses actually using gimmicks in ways that reinforces, one, their personality, and two, also just like works together with like the narrative in like really cool ways, or the maps do a good job of like shaking things up and everything, which is something that I kind of felt a lot of Fire Emblem games, but particularly, I hate to say it, Three Houses didn't really have a lot of, where like the gameplay was reinforcing the story. It just kind of felt like I was switching between two modes half the time when I was playing Three Houses, or three modes depending on the section I was in. I think the music is incredible. I think I love the music in this freaking game. And yeah, there's a lot of characters I did come to like, but they're mostly vibe check characters, not necessarily that they're like really deep or anything. But yeah, this is it's a game that I want to say is largely lighter in tone than something like Echoes or Three Houses, of course, but it does have some dark things in its story, and like I think it has some themes that do click in place towards the end that are like okay, but it does have things I don't like. I think my favorite part of this game was probably the rival group, the Hounds. Those guys, I didn't like them at first, but as I played it, I think they became one of my favorite parts, just because of, one, the stuff I mentioned before with like the ludonarrative gameplay stuff, but also just Fire Emblem very rarely does rival groups in general, and I actually at least like that it's here, because it reminds me of my first Fire Emblem game, like Fire Emblem 7, which had like the Black Fang, although I would say these guys are better utilized gameplay wise than the Black Fang were, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely the opposite of Three Houses, but despite me being incredibly turned off on it initially, I kind of like it. And it's not even close to my favorite Fire Emblem though. So here we go. Right, so there's Engage. I think I feel okay putting it like here, maybe top of this tier for me. It's like not up there with those, but it's good. Some of the DLC characters have them. Yeah, I like those. And also, I guess Tiki has a thing, but yeah, no, that would have been nice. Okay. So, now, what is next on the list? Alright, we're gonna switch to Zeiss again. We're here, guys. We've reached it. I have yapped about this game so much. It's like I was in a stream with C only like a month ago or something. Oh my god. Alright, I will go ahead and say I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because like I've talked about it so much lately. Okay, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, my bad. As the time is a cruel. Yes. I love this. This is one of the best remakes I've ever played. Hands down. If you're wanting to get into Trails, but you... Okay. I have one statement to say. Ideally, if you want my honest opinion, I actually would recommend, if you are okay with doing it, starting with the original first, if your plan is to play the whole series. Just because you would be able to, like, gradually appreciate the evolution of mechanics and all that sort of a thing without, like, at all feeling like you might be stopgapped. Luckily, we do have the remake of the second game coming next year, but, like, you know, if your plan is to binge the series in any capacity, you may be left waiting at some point, or you may also feel like there may be a downgrade of some sort. Or at the very least, I would ask some self-awareness, because I've seen some people about when they jump backwards afterwards. But suffice to say, the only negative I can give this as a remake is that it is very hard to go back to the original Sky gameplay when you have tasted this one. And that is the only real negative I have. Otherwise, this is like the definitive version of the game. I feel, and like maybe the script, like the Xseed script, but like, yeah. That, otherwise it is, it's perfection. They did such a good job redoing it, to the point that the game that had my least favorite Trails gameplay has now become one, like really high up there. Like, we're talking top 5 gameplay wise. So it's just a good version. Like, they did good. I don't, like, yeah. If you really are struggling that hard to play the original, though, then play this one. You will have to downgrade at some point, though. Just know that. So those are my statements on it. Nice, short, sweet. Amazing remake. So, I'm gonna actually adjust 2 tier lists for this one. Let's go. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be putting Trails in the Sky, first chapter, right up here. I think I like Tellius more, but otherwise, it's just a fun freaking game. They did a good freaking job. Arguably, I don't know actually. Do I? Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I like it here. The story I like in these a little bit more, overall, but this is good. I think this has... I think I might like this gameplay better than that, but that's... Otherwise, yeah. The non-gotcha. I mean, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It's a good game. Real good game. Also, like, we haven't even gotten into most of the actual peak yet. I've been actually trying to do we're getting into the actual good, real good stuff I played this year. But yeah. Okay. Trails ranking wise. Okay, so Sky first. I think so. Here's a really funny thing, by the way. I'm just gonna make this statement right now. Trails in the Sky second chapter is right here in A tier. It is mostly held up there by how much I really like the story. The moment that remake comes out, though, I'm probably dropping this sucker a little bit. Also, I removed Daybreak 2 from the tier list for now because I think I'm going to be repositioning it from where I posted it after my streams, but only a little bit. It's not going to be anything crazy. So, anyway, Sky First, though, I think I like it on tier with A. The problem is, like, this is all, like, up. I mean, this, I think all of these are really freaking good, but, like, Kino, Peak Fiction based, I love everything, like, from there onward. So, yeah. Anyway. Let's get back to the slideshow. We're gonna put Daybreak 2 there in a second, don't worry. Alright? Because I'm pretty sure that one's right here. Alright, I am not going to say anything specific on this one because of obvious reasons. This is very deep in the series and I do not want to alienate people. Okay, so I'll just say for Daybreak 2 here, I'm going to go back to that earlier Daybreak 1 song. I've had a lot of time to, like, think on things, and while I would still say I like this one personally more than Daybreak 1, it does have issues. To the point that I am wondering about my ranking. I said most of my thoughts on this, obviously, in my stream series, and if you want more detail, you can go there. I have a full on-stream reaction. But honestly, though, I still like this game a lot. Like, I feel people who say this game is bad. I'm gonna echo this with a certain other game later that I'm gonna talk about, but I feel like you need to play more games. I've talked about at least one game in this that absolutely is worse than this. What do you mean? At the end of the day, I think the gameplay's solid, and I really like a lot of what the story does in general. It's just a very crazy game. A lot happens. Very wacky. But I think mostly in a good way wacky. But I do understand why it alienates some people. And I will leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love Daybreak 2. Good game. But yeah, it does have issues, so we'll get to that ranking now. So here we go. Alright, so first of all, I'm actually going to switch to this tier list first. Daybreak 2 right here, this one. I'm thinking... Okay, like I said, I do still like it more than Daybreak 1. Do I like it more than Sky First? I think, funny enough, I think I like Sky First combat better. Personally. But I do really like a lot of what Daybreak 2 has going on gameplay-wise. I think, actually, these are very similar to each other in terms of quality in the gameplay department. Like, I think one has one thing, one has not, because I, again, first brought back my beloved Cold Steel mechanics, and I love them. But I will say Daybreak 2 is really fun, and the story has some crazy highs, and there's like one moment in it that I love to death. I kind of want to place it here, but we have a very bloated A tier. Maybe it might be worth, I don't know. I think I'm fine having a bloated A tier, honestly. I think it deserves to be there for me, at least. But I get why people have issues with it. I just don't really. And I think some of it is just like, yeah, I could even tell I think next game is going to be doing more things with it, and I think some people forget that Trails does that. Just saying. They love their setup and payoff. But, okay. Anyway, there we go. So, I'm gonna switch back to this one, though. And, okay, Daybreak II on this tier list. Yes, I put Reverie in S myself. Thank you. Yeah. Again, likewise, I think I have it kind of next to Skyfirst a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think that checks out for me. Okay. I mean, like, okay, I just really want to think about this, because, like, I feel the highs of this, for me at least, blow this one out of the water in terms of stakes, but this one has, like, stronger character stuff, and, like, but then this also has really good character stuff, too, but different kind of character stuff? I don't, whatever. Important thing, they're on the same tier. Okay. Alright. So. Ah! We're into the funny now. Oh. Oh no. I think I'm gonna try and give the short version on this one, because I'll be talking for a while. Oh, man. Alright. Half-Life, baby! So, Half-Life. I really wanted to get into Half-Life for, like, years. Because I thought it looked really cool and up my alley, and it turns out I was right. Yeah. Yeah, I finally played Half-Life for the first time this year. So, I'll go ahead and say the order in which I played Half-Life was, as you see listed here. I played Half-Life 1, Black Mesa, Opposing Force, the current demo of Blue Shift up to a point, the Black Mesa Blue Shift, and then Half-Life 2 and its sequels. That is the order I did. The only one I did not play was original Blue Shift, and I think there was that co-op game that was on, like, PS2. Whatever. Generally the ones that mattered, I played. And I freaking love the games. So, yeah, let me click here. Black Mesa incident, though, I know, I'm planning to get a VR headset. I want to get one. So I'm going to play it myself one day. I'm very interested. But yeah, anyway. Half-Life 1 and its, like, expansions. So, I'm going to be real with you. The main hurdle I had was OG Half-Life 1. It was very mean. In ways that I did not really like initially. How do I put this? There was a lot of times I just got lost and had no idea how to progress in these, like, tiny hallway spaces. Because, like, it was a lot of running around until you figured out, like, what valve to interact with to open, like, a door to go through things. Because there's, like, very little signposting. And then other times it was just kind of, like, dealing with really difficult enemies. I think I just kind of got so burnt out of just running around trying to figure out how to, like, progress that I stopped the game for, like, a couple years. And, yeah. And then I came back to it, and I beat it, and I was like, Man, and I think the part where I stopped was right before I feel the game just started getting really mean in its game design with like really difficult enemies and stuff like that were just kind of. Anyway, I was having a time. Um, but I asked some friends what their opinions were of what I should do next, and then I just jumped right into Black Mesa right afterwards. And the remake, it was like a 9-day experience for me. I love Black Mesa. Actually, Black Mesa is like my favorite of the entire Half-Life games I played. Granted, it's so for those who don't know, Half-Life Black Mesa was a fan remake that actually ended up being officially endorsed by Valve. So, it's made by a lot of people that are very passionate about it, and they did a really good job, in my opinion, like remaking it, especially the last like few levels, which got converted into like an entire back half of the game that was like mostly original content, and it reminded me a lot of Metroid Prime, actually, the Black Mesa version of Zen, and that was so fun to do. And I really like the final boss of it is like it's one of the rare final bosses in Half-Life, actually, and it is a banger. I love it. It's so good. And just a good freaking game. But yeah, then I played Opposing Force, and that game was fun. I think also because I was more familiar with Half-Life 1, I'm just gonna turn the difficulty down and just kind of run through this one because I didn't have as much interest in it. And I ended up kind of liking it a little bit. I was definitely a lot more invested in the lore after playing Black Mesa as well, and I think the general way that story played out was a little bit interesting with that one, and the monsters were fun. So yeah, that was just a good, more combat-centric expansion. Not too long either. And Black Mesa Blue Shift is not done, but from what I played of it, is also really good. Feels very different from normal Black Mesa in a lot of ways, but I think in pretty good ways. I think people who hate the NPCs in Metroid Prime 4, though, would not like Black Mesa Blue Shift. I will withhold what I mean by that. But, yeah. Anyway. With that out of the way, Half-Life 2. The part of Half-Life everyone cares about. Yeah. It's really freaking good. I'm not rocking the boat on this one. I think what I found the most impressive about this one was its storytelling approach, just because I've played games before that, did things where like the story was happening in your active environment, but like this game was really good at like having things happen in a scene and getting you to look at what they want you to look at just instinctively in a way that like just makes you feel like you are consuming the story similar to a cutscene while having full hands on the wheel. And it's like really well made in the narrative department, but I think also gameplay wise, this game is the best game to ever use the Havoc physics engine that I've ever seen. You use it in such cool and creative ways, and it's just a good game. Now, of course, if I have any criticism of base Half-Life 2, the ending sort of just felt like it sort of just happened a little bit. Which is good that it had sequels to help expand it. I won't say too much about Episode 1, because it's just kind of more Half-Life 2, but like a little bit more story. And you have a lot of Alex in both Episode 1 and 2. She is like with you the whole time. Again, have fun, Metroid Prime 4 haters. But like, I think the thing is with Episode 2, though, I'm gonna be real, guys. That cliffhanger was bad. It was a good cliffhanger. It's just, I could not imagine playing this in 2007 and existing in modern day after witnessing that. I feel so bad for everyone. Like, I'm in the Golden Sun fandom. I relate so hard. If anyone here is part of that group, I understand, and I'm with you now. Oh my god. That's sad. I'm so sorry, Raphael. But yeah, it's a really freaking good cliffhanger. It's just unfortunate that they, I've heard, I know certain things about Alex, though, Half-Life Alyx, but I will refrain from commenting. If you guys have not played Half-Life, despite the cliffhanger, and maybe if you know the cliffhanger, there's a cliffhanger going in, I think the ride is still worth it. They're just really well-made video games. Especially Half-Life 2. I think, Half-Life 2 in particular, I don't know if you would have to be, per se, a shooter fan. Like, you could probably just, turn the difficulty down and just enjoy the story, because they do a good job with it. But yeah, I think, as far as, I think Half-Life 1 and Black Mesa might be a little bit of a harder sell, because that one is definitely a lot more explicitly about the gameplay, it feels like. So, yeah. Alright, that is, Half-Life. Let's, get those on here. Okay, Half-Life 1. This is feeling now very apples and oranges. Everything on here has been alright, it's been anime, cutesy, cartoony, platformer. Okay, yeah. Anyway, shooter, survival shooter, Half-Life 1. It's well made. I'll put it here, but I think I like these better, because they're a lot more in my wheelhouse. Well, also, this one made me rage a lot. Black Mesa, though, oh my god. Yeah, no, that's one of the greats. That's one of my goats. Legit one of my favorite things I played this year. I'm not even kidding. I feel like I want to put Half-Life 2 and just represent it with Half-Life 2 on its own, and also count the episodes with it, because if I were to rank it, I think it would be probably there, with episode 1 maybe being here, and then episode 2 being next to it. Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do. So let me real quick put this here, YouTube chat, move that. And okay. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Whew. I forgot about this one. Oh my god, right. Oh my god. Oh my god, Hunt Down the Freeman. Oh, I chose this image on purpose because it was really funny. Oh my god. Okay, so Hunt Down the Freeman is a very funny game. Hold on, let me find the final level music that is actually 15 minutes long. not extended. Yeah, 15-minute. All right, I think I mostly recommend, if you don't know what Hunt Down the Freeman is. Okay, you want to know why I did this to myself? Well, one, this was gifted as a joke by a friend, but also, I'm gonna be real with you, that cliffhanger hit so hard, I needed stupid to wash it down. And it worked. I felt less bad afterwards. I recommend you look up videos of this game rather than me have to explain it, because I don't think I could do it justice. The shortest way I can describe this is, dude looked at Black Mesa, said, yo, Black Mesa got funded, I want to make my own. And he really liked MGS5, guys. He really liked MGS5 and thought it'd be like, oh my god, I could get YouTuber voice actors and give them like no voice direction and cast a British man as an Asian American dude, and also have all the cutscenes done in like SFM, like Source Filmmaker. And by the way, this is a series that mostly does its storytelling through like environmental like things happening around you. No, this one needed MGS cutscenes, and it's sold for money, by the way. I have a very funny wrinkle in this though. The Steam page for this has now been taken over by the fans. I don't know how that happened, but the fans run the Steam page, and they're making their fan updates, pushing it on the Steam page now. Like, the version you would play, although you can sign up for beta and download the original version, but like, and they've made like meme achievements for the game. Like, just making fun of it. I think there's an achievement for refunding the game in like 5 minutes or something like that. Like it's so funny. Yeah. Oh, I kind of love this one. This is also, by the way, I did technically play one of the fan patched versions because I didn't know what was going on at the time, but I actually kind of like that they're doing this because it's maximizing entertainment value. Because if you play it now, like, you're just having fun. You're playing a game that's like, yeah, okay, this isn't Half-Life, but like, I'm moderately entertained, and then you're laughing at the cutscenes 5 seconds later. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. They're actually kind of doing a half-decent job fixing the gameplay, which is, I think, the craziest part of this. Oh god, that's right, they added a thing on the wall that said, like, where's our money, Birkin? I just remembered that because he didn't pay. Oh my god. Anyway, how the frick do I rank this? Where do I rank? How? I mean, okay, I'm gonna be real, like, you know what? Actually, there we go. I think that's the most accurate way of describing it. I'm so sorry, Sonic Heroes. Trash, but I like it. Oh, man. Anyway, cool. By the way, this is a 15-minute song because the original version of the final levels, you had to defend a building for 15 actual minutes. And it was very boring, from what I understand. But boy, the composer sure wrote a 15-minute long song for that game. All right. All right, now we're out of that. What's next on this list? Me There we go. Okay. There we go. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, baby. I freaking love this game. Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up some Metroid music for no particular reason right now. Okay, so a few years ago, actually, I think I talked about me really liking Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, so what's really funny about these games is, one, their story's really good. This is another game that is set in that same time period I was talking about earlier between episodes 3 and 4, and also fleshes out that world. So again, everything I consumed Star Wars wise this year just was that, which is funny. But yeah, I think as a sequel to Fallen Order, though, banger video game. So one really funny thing and why I'm playing this music, these games very much take inspiration from a lot of things, but on the list is Metroid Prime. And you can very much feel it with like the way the world design is done and all that sort of a thing. They very much feel like a much more fleshed out version of Prime 3. And that's really cool, and I like that. There's obviously also a little bit of Uncharted, but also a lot of yeah, smiley face, yeah. A little bit of Uncharted, but also a lot of Dark Souls in there as well. So you have like a mixture of things. But I think in general, though, this game is sick. Peak Fiction, Kino based. And I'm glad I was finally able to play it, because I was waiting on an actual update to that PC port for like years. I was not buying a PS5 for this. So, very good. I was able to enjoy it now, and yeah, I even like 100%ed the game, which was a little bit unhinged, but it's how much I liked it. And combat was good. Again, story went some directions. I want Jedi 3. I want it. I need to know what happens next, man. But yeah, just a good game. I am running out of energy to freaking gush, but oh man, I might take a break in a second though, just to like go get water and then let y'all chat for a second. But yeah, I will at the very least swap over here, but I think I've said most of what I need to. This game's just good. Where would I... Okay. It's definitely up there with the Half-Life games. Do I like it more than Trails? Honestly, another part of me is like, do I want to actually bump up some of these? Yeah, I think that works. I think. Maybe. I don't know. This is very arbitrary. Jedi 3 now. Give him a breathe. Hi, chat. Yes. But, yeah. Anyway. That is my thoughts on this one, and cool. So, I'm gonna go BRB. and I will see you guys when I'm back. Okay. I am back. Whew. Actually, we are almost done. I have realized a mistake I made, though. I'm gonna put... I guess opposing force. Similar. Yeah. Anyway, that was something I missed. Let's switch over to face cam for a second. So, how's everyone feeling with this gauntlet that I have signed myself up for this day? Chilling. Nice, nice, nice. It was inevitable. True. Okay. Oh, challenge? Oh, no. You need to understand. I've been doing a media thread tier list thing. Let me switch on over for you on this one. Yeah. I've been doing a funny little tier list here of well, a few tier lists actually. This one as well. So, woo! Yeah. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's keep this going so we don't go too overtime. I think we're technically overtime already, but it's fine. All right. Super Metroid X Fusion. So this is a ROM hack of Super Metroid that is trying to be like a quasi remake, reimagining of Fusion. It's more like someone's weird fanfic take of Metroid Fusion that also happens to be like a reimagining of Fusion gameplay wise to make it more like Super, while also trying to be like Fusion. The end product, though, is you have a guy who is insanely good at Super Metroid, making an incredibly difficult Metroid Fusion hack that is very divisive. This is the second most divisive Metroid thing to release this year. Yeah, this is a weird... What do I think of this? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. The plot of this is bad. Which is unfortunate, because the plot of Fusion is amazing, like base Fusion. The plot of X Fusion is bad. I can't... it has, like, a twist, which is kind of cool, but the problem is the writing of it is not that great. I'll go ahead and say that. So this does not replace Fusion at all. But I do think it is a really fun remix of Fusion if you are, like, sick of playing base Fusion and want a new way of playing it that is a little bit more open-ended and has some really cool stuff in it. On a technical level, this is probably one of the craziest ROM hacks I've ever seen. Probably the most impressive Super Metroid ROM hack next to Super Metroid But I Hate You. But that's a different thing. Next to that, this is one of the best ROM hacks of that game I've seen. With all of that said, yeah, it has like some really cool power-ups you can get that are exclusive to this, that feel really nice. Some optional stuff that are not needed to like beat the game, but you can find, and it's really cool and it's nice to have. You have, the world design is technically more open, but it does have some annoying quirks. There's a lot of one-way pathways that require you to do a very long detour to get back around to those spots, and it sucks. The game's difficulty is hardcore. Like, this is made for crazy people that play way too much Super Metroid. I think I heard that another patch was coming, but I do not know if that's out yet or what, but, like, I know that it had to be patched initially because, like, it was crazy. I know on, like, hard mode, like... So, also, by the way, this game does have sequence breaks, but, like, because certain enemies are flagged to appear when you get certain abilities, it does glitch the game out when you sequence break things, so like you end up skipping parts of the story when you do that, and then it makes sure an enemy starts spawning, and it turns into a whole thing. And also, one of the sequence breaks, it's cool that you can do it, it is hard to do it. Because you, Jaden, are you still here? Just to talk to you about this, to let you know how this game is structured for like a second, because this would be very easy to talk to you with that. If he's not here, that's fine. My point being, if you played Fusion, it is the order in which you do things is very similar to base Fusion, but you can go out off script. But you have to also accept you're going to be making the game harder by doing so, like on the whole. It's a very interesting way this game was put together. Because one of those cases where the sequence breaks in other ones would make the game easier, it makes the game harder in this one. Yeah. I don't know. It's mean. This is a very mean game. the final level alone had to implement, they had to code in checkpoints, which the original game did not have, to compensate for you, like, dying constantly during that section. It becomes like Super Meat Boy or something like that, like in the last, like, section of the game. So I don't know. Yeah. It is a ROM hack though, so like I can cut it some slack. The thing is, I think this is also one of the most anticipated ROM hacks of all time, just to clarify, because this sucker was in development for years. Like, we're talking... I found out about this around the time, like, AM2R was about to come out years. Like, freaking 10 years ago, almost, you know, like... Yeah. It is a mean hack. And again, like, it's one of those things, a lot of people were looking forward to it and were not ready for Kaizo difficulty. And so this has gotten a lot of blowback. I had fun with this, but I have to curb that with, it will take your lunch money many times over. So... Anyway... There we go. That's X Fusion. I think... Here's the thing. I had fun with it in spite of its issues. Maybe... Sequence breaking is cool, but... Yeah, that seems right. But at the same time, yeah, no, I'll put it there. I don't think it's as good as, like, Sands of Time here. Okay. Yes. No, this was also within the same time frame as Silk Song. Yes. So it was like a funny one too. Oh yeah, no, for sure. All right, we're at the funny part of this entire thing. Oh man. Okay, let me real quick. Whew. Alright. Blue Goo Adventures, indeed. Let's go. Orb Cult time. So, I did want to say very quickly, this marathon was so insanely fun. I enjoyed this ride. And I am so glad that I did it. And the amount of memes, the Orb Cult, the Blue Goo, all of that were insanely fun. Doing like co-op with friends and just enjoying the games, running through them and everything, and then eventually playing Prime 4. It was just good, and especially considering I very much just was thinking, oh man, everyone here is like really into my Trails stuff. I do not think there's any chance I'm getting them to care about me playing Metroid. And I'm glad I was proven wrong, at least on some level, because a lot of you guys seem to enjoy it in spite of all of that, and I got to, you know, pique some interest and share these, and I just really like, it was just fun, and I can't thank you guys enough on that. It was insanely good. But yeah, so I'm gonna take this time to do what I was going to do. I was gonna make another stream of Prime 4 to just kind of wrap up and do tier lists of stuff with that, but let's just say I felt slightly burned out and wanted to take a little bit of a break, so we're doing it now. So let me make sure the next one is Prime 4. So let's go ahead and switch over to a tier list we have not brought up yet. We're doing Metroid games, baby! I'm gonna start with the 2D games, and I'm just gonna put them up without much explanation, because I think that I can do easy enough, and then we'll just move on to the new ones. So I'll put Dread, Super Zero Mission, maybe Super Zero Mission I might put here, actually. Metroid 2, I'll put at least C or B. I'll put it here for now in B. Where's Metroid 1? Other M is in D. I'll put Metroid 1 with it. Let's see. Samus Returns. Actually, I think that goes there along with Fusion, which, yeah. Okay, I think we're into Prime now, officially. So, here we go, everyone. We're gonna be ranking Prime games. Unsurprisingly, Metroid Prime 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. I freaking love that game. I have played it way too many times. So it is my top spot of all of them. You live very good. Yeah, Prime 1 goes there. Prime 2 directly behind it for me. I love Metroid Prime 2 almost as much as Prime 1. It's just a good freaking game. I just, yeah. I'll say Prime 1, okay, just to clarify why this one, outside of, like, nostalgia, is my favorite. I just really like the combination of atmosphere, and that it's a very, like, cozy game for me to just kind of pick up and just run through at this stage for me. Like, this is the brain off, just run around and just kind of route the game world, and I found using Magmore Caverns and figuring out like ways to use it to kind of dip in and out of these different regions was very fun to do, and just like trying to figure out like, hey, how do I go from here to here, and then collect A, B, C, D along the way. It's very fun to do, and it feels very organic, and I just kind of enjoy running around it. And yeah, it also just so happens to be like the second Metroid game I played after Fusion over here. Something feels wrong about that. Copying your 2D Metroid tier list? I didn't even like think about that. I literally just freeformed this, my guy. That's really funny. Oh man. But I did not want to elaborate, but I guess we just agree, Jaden. That's so funny. Yeah, Prime 2, okay. I think technically I like a lot of things better in Prime 2, but it is less cozy to run through than Prime 1. But I like the story a lot. I like the general stakes of it, and I feel it's cohesive in terms of like the way the story and like the world design, like the bosses and all that sort of thing work together, and it's very interesting to explore, and it's a bit less brain off when I play that one. And again, it's very similar to how I feel with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where Ocarina of Time is my like brain off game, Majora's Mask is my lock in and enjoy the freaking game. Prime 2 is the same way, and I just like the boss fights and the combat, and just the music's so freaking good, and like the atmosphere and like the Dark World stuff is really interesting. I just like Prime 2. It's just Kino to me. I love it. So yeah. Metroid Prime Hunters. So, I actually used to have it down here with Other M, but now that I've actually experienced the multiplayer, this is a little bit more interesting, because it does have one of the worst campaigns, but it does have a really strong visual, like it does a really good job of capturing the atmosphere of Prime in spite of its graphics. The music's pretty good, and I actually don't think I dislike the look of, like, the way the worlds are quote-unquote laid out anymore, per se. And I guess it's a bite-sized experience. I suppose, like, the collecting the Octolith thing isn't, like, that bad now that I played it enough times. The parts where it falls apart is just how repetitive it feels, down to the fact that, like, having the same two bosses repeated. It did lead to the really funny orb memes, but we gotta be real, that crud's trash. And the escape sequences add nothing to the game. And there's, like, a lot of little things that do drag the whole thing down. I get what it's going for, but feels very unfinished campaign. That multiplayer, though, is fire. And it was so fun finally getting to play that with, like, you, Jaden, and, like, all, like, Flame Guy and Ash. And I really like the... I don't care if it's trash. Orb was the best part. Fair enough. I really liked the multiplayer in general, and, like, just being able to just play all those different characters and the way they all work differently and all that. It's just a fun freaking game. So I feel like it's at least better than Metroid 2. I don't think I'm feeling confident enough to throw it up there with Fusion and Samus Returns, though. So, and I like Metroid 2, actually. This is, like, my bad, and then everything else is good, like, from C upwards for me on this one. And I'm really happy to say that I think Hunters has officially climbed out of this now that I've experienced the multiplayer. So, yeah. Prime 3, though. I think replaying it on stream was better than the last time I played it. Personally, I feel like I like the story a lot. I like the stuff with, like, the Rundus and the Hunters. I like the, again, the look is on point, and, like, the space travel stuff is a really cool novelty. But yeah, I do think the hand-holdy is a little bit not my thing, and some of the world design did feel like it took a little bit of a step back for whatever reason for me. Is that right, C? Okay, here's my thing about Other M, though. I can't with that story. Like, I know that... And here's the thing with its gameplay, right? It's like... Its gameplay is good, but at the same time, at least on a first playthrough, you can't skip none of that. And it's very integrated. Like, the forced walking sections, I can't not separate... Like, I can't separate the story and gameplay with that one, because they fuse them together in these jank, terrible walking sections all the time in that game. And it's not fun. And even then, I mean, it controls well, but I feel it just is still missing something in, like, the level design or something to truly feel like 2D Metroid to me. I know you said that, but, like, I think it's approaching it. Like, the controls are there, kinda. But other than that, I don't know. Like, almost close your eyes and take a rest. That's so funny. And yeah, and also you literally cannot skip cutscenes on a first playthrough. Like, I mean, if you have a save, I guess, but, like, you know. I just remember I did a rerun of that, and then I was like, oh wait, no, I don't have a clear save. Oh no, I remember I got the glitch where I got soft locked. By the way, you can get soft locked in that game, and then I have to replay, and it's very late in the game, and you have no idea it happens until it's way too freaking late. That's a thing that can happen, and it's happened to me, and I had to watch every single cutscene over again because I didn't have a clear save. Oh. Anyway. I don't know. There, it's above Metroid 1, you happy, Jaden? Yeah, I think it's above. Have you done? Yeah. Prime 3 corruption. Okay, so I'm thinking back on this one, yeah. I think I do really like its story, and I like its atmosphere, and I really like the Valhalla section a lot, and the final battle is pretty peak. It's like a really strong ending to the 3 games, and it has really freaking good, like, it has some, the combat's better than I remembered it when I was playing it on stream, partially because I was bad at it, I guess, but that was fun to do, and yeah, at the same time, that hyper mode though is a time. I don't know where I want to rank this, because like, here's the thing: when we're talking Super Metroid and Zero Mission, these are like the sequence breaks, sequence breaky games. Like, they are next to each other for a freaking reason. And then here's this one, which, okay, let me just think about this. Do I like this more than Fusion? Because Fusion has like one of the best stories in the series by far. But I think it has a lot of the same issues as Prime 3, where it's just very linear, and like, as in just, you're very constantly telegraphed where you need to go all the time. And it does, I mean, all 3 Prime games do not do sequence breaks, really. The world building is really strong, though. Like, as far as, like, when you could, like, scan things and all that, as usual, getting to see the Prime home world. And then Fusion has better, like, in-the-moment storytelling. Yeah. Samus Returns, though, I think washes both of them in the combat department. I have problems with its ending and some of its design in places, but it's good. Prime bias. I'm giving it prime bias. We're putting it top of B. Wait, why do we have Prime Remastered and Prime 1 different? It's like the same game. The only difference is graphics. Why do we... Wait, why is there 2 for... Anyway. Okay. Federation Force. So, this is the goofiest one, because I feel like I'm mainly just going to be comparing it with Prime Hunters here. This feels wrong that I like this game now. I mean, it doesn't, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I would say Federation Force is a better package than Hunters on the whole. When you have friends and you're playing with friends, you have, like, every mission feels very unique. You have good objectives. They do feel fun to do. And in general, like, it is a game that is not meant to be played single player. and it has some pretty good moments. Hunters has the better story, though, I guess. More tonally consistent story. And visually more tonally consistent. But man, that repetitiveness. Well, that and, like, control scheme-wise, I think I also prefer Federation Force. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Federation Force gets the win. So. Okay. Alright, so, there we go. That is my marathon tier list. Yay! Okay. Oh boy! It's time. It's time. I'm gonna take a big old drink of water. Metroid Prime 4. So, fun fact, I actually got a Nintendo Switch 2 recently. I quite enjoy this thing. It was, I guess, my Christmas gift. Very much appreciate the family for that one. But, yeah, anyway. Put that over there. So I've now played this game, I want to say, about 3 times. I played it once on normal. Another time on hard mode, actually collecting everything and all the scans to get the true ending. And a third time on Switch 2. Partially just to also see how long it takes to get the funny crystals. So, with all of that said, what do I think of Metroid Prime 4, the game that no one freaking likes, I guess? I love this game. I genuinely do. I said this on stream. I really... I do like this more than Prime 3. But, like, I'm starting to think, like, not by a massive amount, because I do see a lot of Prime 3's issues have translated directly to this, but it's not the issues people are saying. It's just other issues with Prime 3. I mean, some of them. But I don't think they are anywhere near as big of an issue as people are saying. I think I'll go ahead and say first, my issues with this game is more, gotta do it for the Prime 4. Whenever I get my hands on the amiibos, see... That is not a joke. No, real talk though, I think my only issues with this game are kind of the level design. I wish was, like, stronger, like something more akin to Prime 2. That's, like, my first issue with it. And 2, I kind of wish that, the game actually let you turn off, like, the constant, like, Navi-esque notifications on, like, where you need to go all the time. Because, like, I think those really kind of take away from the... Like, basically robbed me of the ability to, like, navigate on my own the first time I played this. Because, like, now I'm just gonna know till the end of time, just like, oh, you go here, there, you know what I mean? Even if I take a break, unless they patch that, that will continue to be a problem, even if it, like, exits my brain. Which is, again, that's a problem I have with Prime 3. And that is not a diss at the characters. That's a diss at the game not trusting my intelligence. Or at least giving me the option. Okay? So, again, my amiibo. Oh my god. Yeah, I think Speaking of amiibos, though, all right, this is where I get to debunk things, because I've actually played through this properly. All right, first of all, there's so much misinformation around this dang game, especially around the music in the desert thing. So I'm here to inform that is in fact amiibo only, which sucks. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Yeah. So you do need the amiibo to unlock music in the desert. And also, like, other things like the skins and like all this other crazy stuff, apparently. Unless that is also misinformation, I wouldn't be surprised. Regardless, that is a whole thing about this game. A lot of people were saying, like, oh, if you 100% the game on like hard mode or something, you unlock it. That is not true. I've done it. It doesn't do it. My friend Snivy also did it. It doesn't do anything. So I just want to clarify, I don't know why people are lying, but they are. We're moving on past that, though. I think the other thing that I do want to, like, address as well, I know that there's been, like, an interview that came out recently that basically just kind of said that, I guess we haven't hard confirmed that the concept for this game basically came out a long time ago, and this is what was handed to the other development team. And then when Tanabe did not like what they were doing, they basically passed the exact same game design document over to Retro. So basically this is a concept that came out, like, it was being worked on circa like 2017. So, like, yeah, this is a little bit displaced by time. However, I disagree with that being a flaw inherently, but it is something worth mentioning. Now, as for the game itself, I don't know. I liked it a lot. I liked the characters. I liked the music. It feels like Metroid Prime, and for me, that's a good thing. Like, it feels like Prime 3. At least for me, it felt like Prime never left. Which, after years of waiting, is exactly what I wanted. However, I know some people had much higher expectations. I think, like, a common thing I hear, and this is because of Hollow Knight, and, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I like Hollow Knight. I really like Hollow Knight. But I think it has made me hate its fans. Because people play it and they want every game to be Hollow Knight now. Or at least that's like the new bar. Like, people have replaced Super Metroid with Hollow Knight, and now they're like, anything that doesn't match that is that. Or it might be because we waited years for Prime 4, so people are like, years equates to must be greatest game ever made? Which is not how it works. I just want to let you know. Actually, there's a lot of really cool Hollow Knight fans. I just want to clarify. I'm just saying the ones that are, like, being elitist about this. Yeah. And I think this has been, like, a general thing I've heard as well about, like, what was it, Samus Returns even, where they're like, Samus Returns is really good, but it's not as good as what modern Metroidvanias are. Metroid's not the king anymore, and it really is supposed to be. I'm like, the frick is that supposed to mean? Like it, do you want it to be Metroid? Oh, but suddenly when we have NPCs and doing things that are not Metroid-like, then all of a sudden, oh no, it's not being Metroid enough. What are you wanting? Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Which, you know, as far as I'm concerned, 8 out of 10, honestly, most numbers to me don't matter. Like, that's just, like, an arbitrary score made by maybe a collection of people that may or may not have done out of an average, but like, we are not a collective. Just because, like, it maybe might be a scale for, like, the probability of how liked a game will be, maybe. Which I suppose that might be accurate enough as, like, a quantifiable number of people that like said thing. But that doesn't mean you're going to be part of the 80 or the 20. You might be part of the 20 that hates and or loves. You know? But I think, like, review scores are funny to me. That's all I gotta say. Also, yeah, that is very true about the next Half-Life. Yeah, that's, I would not be surprised if this happens again. Yeah. I think when it comes to this game, I feel like it's just a lot of people being hyperbolic. And that's like the other thing that drives me crazy. It's like people saw an 8 out of 10 and they're like, oh, this game's gonna be bad, bro. I'm like, who are you people? Like, since when is an 8 out of 10 from, like, IGN or whatever? You know what I'm, like, I mean, yeah, there were, like, a couple 6s, but anyway. It's fine. I'm openly admitting, I don't think this game is perfect. I think the desert also is, so now that I've played it 3 times, and also hi Bradley, in case I didn't say that, hello. Now that I've played this game 3 times, I think that, like, the general way the desert's put together, I have mixed thoughts. I like that there's, like, meaningful power-ups you can discover in the desert. And those, like, power-ups that, like, you find are really, I don't know, they're useful. You feel rewarded for actually exploring out there and, like, marking where, like, things are so you know to come back there later and then grab things. And it does a good job of doing that. In fact, when people compare this to Hyrule Field, a compliment I can give this game that I cannot give Hyrule Field and Ocarina is that Ocarina has, like, 10 billion grottos that you could say are the shrine equivalent, and, like, almost all of them are just rupees. Why should you ever explore them? And like, I love Ocarina, but that's a criticism I can throw at it. This, at least, like, I think every shrine has something good in it. And there's not even a giant number of them either. And you can get around relatively quick-ish. So, like, that's a thing. Now, if people say it's undercooked, understandable. But I also kind of understand that I think they had to try and do a balancing act of trying to make it large enough that you have a place where you can use your bike, but not too large that it ends up making going between the zones a nightmare world, because you are still needing to go back and forth Metroid style. So I get why it's put together the way it is. Too much Master Emerald shards, right. Now the green crystals, I will concede somewhat. I think the problem with the crystals is, one, I think there may be a problem of conveyance. Because while they do tell you to collect it, I don't think they necessarily enforce it hard enough to be like, you are supposed to be collecting these, rather than it being like for an optional thingy. Which does come back to bite you in the rear later, or people forget about it. You know what I mean? I think the real problem, though, is that people find out, oh, you get it from smashing into these rocks, and they find it, like, they just immediately bounce off of it conceptually, and they do not want to engage with it, and then find themselves punished when they are in the back half of the game and have not collected any of it. Because I think that's the other thing. This game has made people bounce off of it conceptually. Like they refuse to engage with what the game wants them to do on its level. Because they just are like, why is this in a Metroid game? And then that's end of conversation. And I don't really know how to have a conversation with someone about that, but that's my read on it. And by the way, if anyone here feels a little targeted, I'm sorry. This is how I feel, because I don't agree with this. I think when it comes to, like, this entire implementation, I think if you're collecting it gradually throughout the game, I would say this CRUD takes less time than the artifact hunts, generally speaking. You could basically just collect them a little bit in between. Like, if you're going to the shrines, which you should be, because you get good things from them, if you visit the shrines and collect all those crystals, by the time you're, like, mostly through the game, you should have a good chunk, like, I think maybe about 25% of the amount. Then you blow up the big rocks, if you've been, like, keeping track of those. Then you are, like, at 75%, and then you probably just knock out the remaining amount in, like, maybe 20 minutes, tops. Yeah, I think also that ending is very divisive, I've also gathered. I am open to it, but this is one of those ones where I need to see what happens next. That's good. It's a good game, but yeah, it's very wild ending. Okay. That's the controversial stuff. Again, I think the atmosphere is on point, the controls are on point, the attention to detail is like Metroid Prime as always. The storytelling I did not mind that much in this one. I thought it was kind of neat having to interact with like the Federation people a bit more and getting the world fleshed out, because I think one thing that people underrate about Prime specifically is world building, and I think the Federation people are just a extension of the world building that is just outside of just like scan logs and all that sort of a thing. Now, it's different than how the previous ones did it, except for Prime 3. Prime 3 was like this. Except people switched up on Prime 3 and don't like Prime 3 either, so I guess, you know. Actually, alright, you know what? I'll invite the Flame War for 5 seconds. I don't know where these people came from, because in the last 10 years, I was under the impression that Prime 2 and 3, particularly Prime 2, were, actually, no, the underrated gems. These are like the Kino games, particularly Prime 2. Because I know at release, people were like, oh yeah, no, Prime 2 and 3 are not as good as 1. Like, I know at release that happened. But, like, it's been, like, years. Like, where did you come from? Why are you... Have you paid attention to the zeitgeist since then? Like, and it's a lot of them, too. It's like they slept for the winter for, like, 17 years and just manifested. I don't understand. Like they're super bears. Maybe they were in those cryostasis pods, right, Jaden? It's Grievers. It's Grievers typing on Twitter. Oh my god. Oh. Anyway, I don't know. It's one of those things where I just keep seeing people being like, oh, Prime 2 and 3 were not as good. Who are you people? Yeah. 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 Alright. Anyway, that's my Flame War for 5 seconds. It's all good. Buddies. Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I think this was a great game. Again, I played it 3 times back to back, and I'm just glad to have Metroid Prime back, and I'm really excited to see whatever Retro Studios makes next, because at the very least it sounds like they're going to have probably more creative control. And for better or worse, they're going to have feedback from this, so who knows? But yeah. Anyway, it's ranking time. Prime 4. Alright, personally, I think it's Kino. I may have recency bias. This may shift as replays happen, but screw it. I don't care. I may... am I that unhinged? No, I like Super a lot. I replay Super a ton. I also replay Zero Mission a ton. Point being, I think it's good. It's real good. But, yeah, let's go back over here and rank it in here now. Okay, so I like it up there with the Half-Life stuff for sure. I'm trying to think. Jedi Survivor or Prime bias. Yeah, I feel relatively confident in that. Maybe like... No, I think that's pretty good. I think that... Maybe... I don't know. I just thought of something, Jaden. There's something really funny these two games have in common with each other. Just Daybreak 2 and Prime 4. Actually, there's more than a few things they have in common with each other. Oh, man. Yeah, that seems good enough for me. So I guess, by extension, what were my favorite games I played this year that were new releases? I guess Sky. Yeah, that's one of them. Hold on. I'm also gonna type it. Whatever. Alright, I sent the thing to you, Jaden. Anyway, but yeah, overall, I guess we're good. Okay. This was fun. And long. Fun and long. I'm gonna switch over to this one. Daybreak II gaming now. Alright. Well, let's switch on over to Facecam. Anyway, I just wanted to say really quick, everyone, this has been a really fun year. A lot's happened. There's been some not so good things that have obviously happened too as well. I will admit, like, I've had some ups and downs. Like, I did record Cold Steel 1 and 3 3 and 4. Wow, those are very strange. Good. Cold Steel 3 and 4 very ahead of time. And I do not know when those videos are going to get made because, let's just say life shenanigans kind of happen. I've been job searching for a while, and that is still ongoing. But hey, you know, there's been some really good things have happened too. I got to play a lot of really peak games. Enough that we spent like 3.5 hours talking about them. I really think this was a good year, and I got to meet some really cool people. Some of them may or may not be in chat. I think I also got to be way closer friends with some people too over the last year as well. And it's just been a good time, just, you know, in spite of things going on, you know, doing my best to get by and everything. I think just, I don't know. I'm looking forward to whatever's to come. I got like Trails Beyond the Horizon coming up soon. I do hope the job situation improves. I will say with Cold Steel 3 and 4, it's like a combination of things. If I had to be like fully transparent, I've gotten the most intense case of writer's block with Cold Steel 3. A lot of people I've like also asked to like help proofread some of this stuff. Like they see like the wall of text and they're busy, and so I've not been able to help out as well. But even outside of that, it's mostly just been writer's block. Like I think I just really want those videos to be as good as possible, especially because they have, especially Cold Steel 4 wise, a lot of baggage that like I kind of have to deal with when discussing that one. But like, I think as far as other things on the channel, I'm just having fun doing what I'm doing, and yeah, no, the Daybreak II streams were so fun early in the year. Getting to start the Gundam Gotcha memes was insane. I'm so sorry, Gundam. It's unfortunate, but it is kind of one of my favorite running jokes. Along with like, I guess, Orb now. Oh man. That's a funny comment. But yeah, I think it's just been a good time, and looking forward to whatever's to come, and yeah, I don't know. Overall, thank you guys so much for watching, and I feel very my throat right now. If you guys want to support, you guys know what to check down below and everything, and yeah, I have Patreon and all that VGen, and I can't speak no more. Anyway, maybe. Thank you, C. Same. Yeah, it was really good meeting you too. Yeah. But yeah, regardless, you guys are all the best. I'll see you later. Oh, yo Snivy. Have a good one, guys. Have a great happy new year. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys next year, and with some Horizon. All right, bye.